Hello, everyone, and welcome to the most on time podcast on Earth. This is Honored Ones. How we all doing
Yeah.
today?
What is up, guys? What is up? What is up? What is up? How are y'all doing on this fine Sunday evening, afternoon, middle place in between them?
Mm,
You know, hope you guys are doing all right. Hope you guys are doing good. Yeah, welcome. We got a fun stream. We managed to make it JJK related even on a break week, so round of
yeah,
applause.
kudos to
You're
us.
welcome.
Yeah.
All the
Um.
flowers, all that stuff.
Mm,
But yeah.
uh, it's been it's a break week all across the board. This fine August 13th, 2023. And you know, Japan has its day offs.
Yeah.
Why does that not sound right? Day offs.
Has its day off. Japan has
Days
its day
off.
off.
It's days off. Oh my god.
Days off?
Yeah, it's
But it's
days.
only Sunday off.
No, but
Right?
it's technically for the week, right? Because like
Oh,
that's
okay.
the you're right. Yeah.
Makes sense. I guess like they only release it on Sunday. That doesn't mean they just work. You
Yeah,
spin, you spin, you
yeah,
spin.
yeah. It'd
Um.
be funny to think that like all mangaka like cram, at like midnight, like
Oh shit! It's Sunday. Let me cook. Let me cook. Let me cook. It's like what the? Yeah.
oh my god, dude. All right, chat. Let's. I wanna address these break weeks. Think of them not as breaks from the manga, but as opportunities for us to talk about some stuff that's been on our minds, right? And I want to take a minute to address the community. All right,
Mm.
guys, you saw the clip by now. If you haven't, check out the last episode, 69.5, especially specifically the last like 15 20 minutes. All right. I have come to reflect on my actions, and I would like to apologize to the tree watching community. I didn't know y'all were built like that. I didn't know you had so many shooters. I'm sorry. All right. I did not know
Yeah.
that trees had people supporting them like that. All right. That's on me. I'll never doubt him again. Um, I'm sorry for the harm I caused to the community. Um,
Um.
wait, this was a
You're not forgiven. I hate you.
wait. This was a
That
great
conversation made me literally become less intelligent.
bro. I
Um.
fucking it's just
That was one of the. That was like people were saying in the comments like, "Oh, BR's finally lost it." It's like it's not that I lost it. It's just it's like I don't know, man. Sometimes it just really feels it's just strange to have a conversation with someone with just an animal level IQ. You know what I mean? It doesn't even feel like I'm conversing with a human. I'm just the apple. Jesus, man. Sorry. I just
yeah. No, there's no need for you to relive that trauma. That burden's all mine because like look, we have to clip it, right? Like, there's simply no option. We have to clip it, post it up on its own because I'd say it's arguably the best part of that entire episode, right? I think that's fair,
100%.
right? Um, now my worry is, and I've already gotten confirmation of this to some degree, is
Mm.
people in my real life seeing that clip and sharing it to other people in my real life, and I don't know if I'm quite ready to have them confront me about this to my face. Um, it's something that I'm like currently debating whether or not. Okay, now the obvious like knee jerk, almost broken Ronin esque response is just to gaslight him, right? That's the tactic that immediately comes to mind. However,
Interesting.
over 1,000 people have already seen the clip. So do I just sunken cost fallacy and face this head on? Who knows? I'm 50-50 on that.
We all know what you're gonna do. You're not approaching anything head on, all right? Let's not lie to ourselves. Go ahead and get to lying, get to deceive, and get to doing all of that. All right, just prepare yourself. Make sure your lies are very thorough. All right. Nothing's worse than getting caught in the middle of a lie for something that you did that's very stupid.
I
Because then you're doubly stupid.
have never lied.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Funky Monk, thank you for the 5. Yo, hope y'all living good. Um, thank you for the
Yeah.
5. And yeah, I think for the most part, I can say that. I don't know if I could say the same thing for Kreams,
Ha
but
ha.
I for one have been. So thank you very
Uh,
much.
chat. We'd like to welcome you on this most salubrious episode of the Honored Ones podcast, episode 70, because now we are 30 episodes away from the big 100. So that's
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. In 10
30 episodes away.
Yeah, in 10 more weeks / 10 more episodes, we will officially be closer to 100 than we were to 50. Or to
Yeah.
50? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Crazy.
yeah, it don't have to be that long. I think it just be once we're at episode 76? Would we be closer then?
Okay, nerd.
I'm just saying, bro.
All
That's like
right.
basic math.
I mean,
Like
okay,
I'm just
like,
saying we
damn,
didn't have
bro.
to, we
I
don't have to go all the
fucking
way to 80 to be
fucking
closer to
Isaac
100
Newton over here. Like,
than 50.
okay, I was
Bro.
I was working with nice round numbers, but sure, yeah, no, please go
Is
off.
70 is 76 not a round number?
70. Who?
Do you Creams, let me ask you something real quick for the class. Do you know what a round number is? I can provide a round number definition for you if you want.
Chat. This is going to be quite an episode.
And this is going to be right up my alley too, because I'm going to get to basically just argue with you all on stream and be like on topic the entire time. Funky Monk, thank you for the 2. Creams, we love you even with all the flaws. We is crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, Funky Monk.
I appreciate
I'm glad
it, Funky
you
Monk.
do.
Appreciate
I'm
you.
glad you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Appreciate the 2, and I'm sure Creams appreciates the very rare support in the community. But yeah. So the general idea for this stream, because basically no chapters dropped, is one, we're gonna talk about the book club, right? We're gonna talk about Slam Dunk, get into our thoughts, our experiences, how we felt it evolved or devolved moving forward, and then after that, we're gonna get into some good old fashioned JJK power scaling versus battles. You know the works.
Meathead shit. Yeah, yep.
Real meathead shit. Real argumentative shit. You know what I mean? Creams is really me and him have really been at odds with each other for the past couple of weeks. So I think this is the perfect thing to really resolve that. I mean, we've been known to always agree on characters winning fights. So what better way to bond than to, come together and really agree on this. So to start off, do you want to talk about Slam Dunk?
I do.
We made it both to chapter 50.
Yep.
What did you think? How do you feel?
It
is it better than the first 20
not
chapters?
getting
Let's
any
talk.
better, bro. I am just going chapter to chapter, waiting for this thing to end already.
Damn, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm so bored.
Okay, continue.
I am so
okay. Give me
bored.
Okay, explain yourself. Is it completely unchanging? Like you could basically parrot everything you said last episode?
Them increasing the art and quality of the basketball are the only interesting moments. But every time a new character gets introduced with their goofy ass haircut or their new chibi form or whatever the hell is going on, I could give less of a shit. Like I literally I'm at my wit's end with these characters, dude. I can't even remember half their fucking names. Oh my god. I was so bored reading this. I had to go back and make sure I was reading according like I made sure the events I followed were accurate. Oh my god, when does this get good? When does this get good? When does it hit that one of the best-selling mangas of all time?
Yeah,
Levels
so
of good.
First of all, I want to talk about that real quick, right? Because I think people, not everybody, right? If you've read Slam Dunk, you're probably very familiar. But Slam Dunk is popular as
So
hell.
big.
So the Slam Dunk movie I think came out over in Japan, right? And that outsold whatever new One Piece movie was out.
Insane.
And I saw some tweet that was like, since when did Slam Dunk get motion like this? And I can get if you're a Westerner, right? I can understand how you'd have that opinion. Cause Slam Dunk isn't really, it's not like Naruto, it's not like Bleach, it's not like One Piece or Dragon Ball, where over here it's just as big and just as prevalent in our everyday lives, or at least just as iconic as it is over in Japan. But for all those who don't know, Slam Dunk is just one of the best-selling manga ever, point blank period. I think it's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's top 7, having sold 170 million. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Insane.
It's above Demon Slayer. It's above Bleach. It's above Attack on Titan. It's above some of the biggest and most popular manga ever. And I will say, damn, that's crazy. However, I'm going to differ from Creams here, all right? I will stand by the belief that Slam Dunk has gotten significantly better since the first 20 chapters. And
when
the reason is almost entirely because they're actually playing basketball. They're actually hooping, and the jokes have been redacted a little bit. Not redacted. The jokes have been pulled back.
you know you just have like the kinder version of what I said, because like it wasn't until they really got into the weeds with that basketball game, especially with the art. I think it was chapter 37 or 40 something. Like I forgot the exact chapter, but it was like, oh man, this is some nice art, dude. You know, he goes like for the like really intense, like almost hyper real look in his art.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's cool. That's some good manga right there.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, so I got the impression that you didn't think it improved at all, though. I thought you were,
It
'cause, like,
improved. Let me readjust what I said. All right, so I can get the sentiment
mhm.
across. The frustration is because it has only improved slightly, and not and this could be partially my fault, and not the super dramatic like night and day 360 like 8,000 fucking degree switch up that I was expecting. Because for me, like
Mhm.
the number I heard being thrown around was 50. Like chapter 50 is
Mhm.
really when like pedal to the metal,
Yeah.
which is why I think you and I like decided to stop there this week.
Mhm.
I was like, all
Yep.
right,
Yep. Yep.
homework is finally done. We've exercised, the cursed spirit. Let's get on to the meat. All right, let's. So next week is probably going to be Slam Dunk Part 1, right? Officially, because that's when the series actually starts.
Yeah, Slam Dunk Part One. I will say so. Here's how I'd evaluate it. Right,
Mm,
the first 20 chapters of Slam Dunk are like a 1 out of 10. Right, like it's really doo doo butter, garbage, complete trash, triple cardboard, double aluminum. Right,
mm.
it ain't doing nothing for me. These next 30 chapters are like a 5 out of 10 for me. Word is like I would read this in my spare time. Like if it was just a manga, just like this level of quality, right? If it just kept this way, I wouldn't love it. I wouldn't be going crazy over it. But it is a like it is now officially past the threshold of being um like more entertaining than it is boring or like hard to read, because the first part of Slam Dunk was honestly really a drag. It was not very enjoyable all that much. The comedy, I mean, I won't say didn't. It does not really work that crazy. I think the main difference, though, for me at least, is that Inoue just decided to really tone down the comedy past chapter 20, right? Some editor, somebody in the writer's room said, hold on, bro, listen, I don't know who you think you are, but you're certainly not a comedian. Okay? Let's relax. Let's bring it back. Listen, I'm not saying don't tell any jokes, but let's limit it to 2 jokes a chapter, okay? Not 19. I don't need to see a dumb gag for the entirety of every chapter of the manga. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's dial it back. And as soon as that happened, as soon as like the tone got a little bit more serious, and I think based on what I've seen in chapter 50, it's going to continue getting more serious with more stakes. Slam Dunk almost immediately became something that was more interesting to me. It can keep the light tone, it can keep the comedic tone, it can still be funny, or like try to be, right? It can still be lighthearted. I don't mind that in the slightest. Like for example, Haikyuu is kind of lighthearted in tone in a lot of moments of the manga. However, I think Haikyuu is actually a little bit more funny, but whatever, right? That's not the point. A lighthearted sports manga is not a problem. Hajime no Ippo is very much like Slam Dunk in the sense that jokes are made all the time, right? Not everything has to be Blue Lock, super serious, I'm an egoist, I'll kill you, to be entertaining for me in terms of sports manga, right? The problem was just it was an unfunny mangaka trying to be funny.
And
But
it
now that we've gotten to more serious parts of it, which,
compulsively
you know,
too. Like,
20, yeah,
oof,
compulsively, bro, like really
fuck.
trying to be funny. Really trying to be funny.
Like, yo,
But I will,
you
yeah,
gotta,
go ahead.
sometimes you just gotta be real and tell your homie, like, hey man, you're not funny. And it's okay. It's okay to not be funny. Not
Like
everybody
it's
needs
not
to
it's not
be.
a character flaw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
And,
okay.
yeah.
Sometimes you're just like the funny guy. Maybe you're like the guy that gives really good advice. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Taki, like he's the draws really good guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so I will say, somebody asked me, AJ, you asked me in chat, is it worth reading? Read a couple of different sports manga, but a 1 out of 10 is RTL. So I can't say it's worth reading yet. And that's not to say it isn't. It's more so to say that my current experience, I wouldn't like heavily recommend this to anybody. If it gets as good as people say, right, in later stages, then probably, because a 20 chapter complete garbage fest is push throughable if you're braced for it, right? Because I went into Slam Dunk expecting basically immediate peak. So I'll admit some of that was expectations, right?
Mm,
A lot of people have always hyped up Slam Dunk to be one of, if not the best sports manga, right? It's in the
right.
conversation with Haikyuu, Hajime no Ippo. Some would say Blue Lock is not even in that conversation, right? And they'd say like Slam Dunk is just that third series. And I kind of went into it expecting what I've gotten out of Hajime no Ippo and Haikyuu at their peaks when they didn't start out like that, right? So some of that is unfair on me. Some of that is unfair on my expectations. However, it also just doesn't have a great start. If you are the type of person that can read past 20 to 30 chapters of, depending on your sense of humor, absolute garbage in order to get to something that potentially reaches like the absolute highs of all manga, then it might be, right? I can't say that from my
Yeah.
personal experience yet, but a lot of people have argued for that. And I'm sure not every single one of them is completely baseless in their assumption. I think it'll get better because so far the story and the characters have hooked me a lot more in this second week than they did in the first. But I can't say for sure if it's going to be this like masterpiece sports manga.
Yeah. So are you also treating like the post chapter 50 slam dunk like me in like a hard reset or a soft reset or?
Nah, bro, the first part's still gonna be garbage regardless. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mm,
I like it's just part of it, right? It's more like I look at it in the same way I do like something like One Piece or like Hitman Reborn, right? Where I'm just not a fan of the first part, and that docks points from it. Like, I'm not gonna be like, well, because Oda or whoever the author for Hitman Reborn was didn't know how to write to my personal taste in the beginning, right? It just doesn't count. Like, nah, it counts. Just because it gets better after doesn't mean the beginning didn't exist. You know what I mean? And I look at it the same thing with Slam Dunk. It can still be good. It can still be really, really good. Shit, depending on how much it improves, I can consider it great. It just depends on what it does moving forward. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all it is. But
Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, I
what would
mean,
you say your rating of it, like out of 10, in its totality so far is?
5 for me.
Yeah,
I'm
it sits at like a 5.5, 5.5 for me. Like,
yeah. It's
I'm
weird
like,
because like
okay,
your compliment sounded like your praise sounded like 2 points higher than mine, but it's only half a point, which is funny.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. It's solid though. Like I can enjoy the shit out of a 5.5 technically, and I did like the basketball because the basketball game took up most of the chapters that we read. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought the basketball game was relatively good. Like as a first starting practice match, it's a good showing of
Mm-hmm.
Sakuragi, Rukawa, like the whole team dynamic so far. I'm
Yeah.
kind of rocking with where we're going.
I'll I'll admit Blue Lock kind of messed me up a little bit because I saw him pass the ball and I was like, whoa, wait, what was that?
I was not an egoist, yes sir, yes sir. Um,
Oh man.
Yeah, but
Um.
it's like it's like I'll say this. I think what the first 20 chapters lacked, this like these next 30 chapters have done for me, which is just like a proof of concept that it isn't going to be absolute garbage. You know what I mean? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you have shown to me, as far as I'm concerned, in a way, like you haven't given me peak yet, or you haven't given me greatness yet, but you've shown to me that people weren't lying
Competency.
or
Yeah.
that I wasn't or that like this is just completely not for me. You just had a slow start. Cool, that's fine. I'm incorporating that into my overall opinion, but that doesn't mean we can't move forward and still like I can still like come to really enjoy the series. So I'm going into it with an open mind. First 20 chapters kind of soured my opinion. Next 30 kind of saved it into being a more average, even keel stance on the series. So I'm going into these next chapters, and hey, I hope I really come out of next week going from like horrible opinion to relatively neutral opinion to oh my god, I get it guys, the first 20 chapters, it all makes sense, or it's all worth it to get here. You know what I mean? That's the opinion I hope to have.
Mm. Yeah, I think I sort of feel like in line with that as far as like my
Mm.
expectations are concerned. Um, I want Slam Dunk to be good. All right, surprisingly, I want a manga that I spend like a couple dozen chapters reading to be worth my time. So I'm not rooting against it or anything. It
Mm.
just I want me some peak, right? I want to see how Inoue's gonna like make me fork up my money. You know what I mean? Like am I adding to that $100 million? Am I?
Mm.
And that's I want to see how I get convinced.
Yeah.
I hope he makes me proud.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm ready to be swayed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to be swayed. I'm looking forward. Like I hope that is the case. And I don't know, man. I think with how everyone's been hyping up Slam Dunk, there's no way there isn't some appeal. You know what I mean? Like I'm typically not a popularity equals quality person, and even still, I'm not. Like I think that's kind of a stupid argument. But it's more so like there are so many people that like it. There's got to be something that I enjoy about it. You know what I mean? It's such an overwhelmingly positive opinion. Like I don't think I've ever seen a Slam Dunk hater. Maybe that's I don't know. I'm trying to search my memory banks. You know, Twitter is a pretty toxic place. Maybe I've seen one, but not that I can remember. Like every time I hear someone talk about Slam Dunk, it's always a generally positive opinion.
Yeah. I mean, not
But
even
yeah,
just positive, but like, uh,
overwhelmingly
over
so.
what? Yeah. Like my life was changed for the better. I've become a better person because of this manga. Like real, almost berserk-ish in terms of praise. You
Yep,
know?
yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like and we have our opinions on that, right? So I think we'll table that. But it's like, yeah, it's one of those manga that's just like nobody really hates on it. Some people don't like it as much, right?
Mm.
But nobody really reads all of whatever like very well known series and is like, wow, I came out of this and this is actually garbage. I can't believe you gave me this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those. I'm hoping and expecting, to be completely frank, that like it improves for me.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Same here.
But yeah, overall thoughts kind of summarized to that. To be
Yeah.
completely honest with you
Yeah.
so far.
There's this sort of
Um,
like soft goal that I have with Slam Dunk, and that's I want it to be the opposite reading experience as Monster for us,
mhm. Oh,
where
where it's like starts slow, ends well.
yeah,
Got you.
right. I think you and I have caught a little bit of flack for how we responded to Monster's ending.
Did we? You think so?
I mean,
I could see it.
yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't
to
like
some extent.
yeah, it wasn't like people clowning us or anything. It was just like give it time. Maybe you didn't understand it, kind of sentiments, which I
Yeah.
don't object to, right? Especially for a series like Monster, because like
Mm-hmm.
I think now that some time has passed, I can more clearly explain it, and not just coming off of reading it. But it's like with Monster's ending, the problem wasn't that the ending was bad. It's just that everything that came before it was so unimaginably good that it was
Mm-hmm.
like it
Anything that
yeah,
didn't keep up was kind of just disappointing.
yeah. So you're
Yeah.
talking about like a series that had a solid 7.5 kind of ending, maybe an 8, right? If you're looking at it like differently, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, like everything that came before it was like a 12.
Yeah, all of it was just like really hype, really hype. It just
Mm,
kind of lost steam for me towards the end, but I think I agree with the sentiment. I think I agree with the sentiment for sure, for sure. Um,
mm,
yeah, yeah. Um, and I think with that, we can let's see. To be fair, it's more likely to see someone that likes Slam Dunk than someone that doesn't because of how popular it is in these versus with. Fair,
mm.
fair. Um, but yeah, let's see. I mean, I guess all we have left for now, right, is to start scaling
Yeah,
some
you
JJK
know,
characters,
but
start getting into it.
before we do,
Um,
I'm super curious now.
mhm.
The whole passing the ball thing, it was super like nonchalant in the actual story, but like it got me wondering, right? Is
Mhm.
there a similar sentiment in basketball, or is that just like a soccer thing,
Is there similar sentiment in basketball? But
like passing,
what sentiment do you
like
think
the
people
like
like?
the blue locks and like, bro, you passed? What are you? What are you, a loser or something? Huh? Why don't you get off the
Well,
field?
that's specifically a blue lock thing though. Like in
Ah,
soccer,
I mean,
it's the
there
exact
are other
opposite.
positions, right? Because like there are strikers and defenders and blah blah. Right. Yeah, you're right.
Mm.
Okay.
With basketball, I mean, passing is a very important thing. It kind of depends on your role. There's less players on the court, or there's less players on a particular team, so you're by proxy going to have the ball in your hands more. And there's certainly Jesus, making me think about slam dunk. There's
Mm,
certainly players, right, that are much more ball dominant. Like they need to have the ball in their hands more. They're much more like I bring the ball up and I'm gonna try to score, and if I can't, I'll pass you the ball. But no, there's typically you're looked. It is not a good thing to be a ball hog when you aren't extremely good. Like you
ah,
can get away with it if you're like if you're the best on the team or if you're playing with some scrubs, right? But if you're surrounded by other good players or you yourself are just some garbage, pass the damn ball. Like, what are you doing?
Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
so what position did you play in basketball? Was there a
I was either a point guard or a shooting guard. It just depended on the circumstances.
yes,
Like
yes, yes, yes.
because like I was
Point guard and shooting
I could
guard.
I
Give me 1 second here.
point guard is the person who brings the ball up the court. They're typically the one that handles the ball the most. They distribute it.
So
They're the ones that typically pass a lot.
so like a striker
Um
or
Jesus Christ. It's not one to one like that. It's not very easy to draw a lot of comparisons like that. Think of a point guard more like a quarterback,
Okay,
right?
okay.
That's probably the closest thing. They
Oh,
have the ball
okay.
in their hands a lot. They give it to other people as like a primary thing. Shooting guards, they're usually on the wings and they're ready to shoot a lot. They can also be a secondary ball handler, just depending. I could play small forward, but like that was only if I was playing on a very small team or like we were playing very small. Basically meaning everyone on the court was smaller, and as a result, I was bumped up in the relative rankings, right? So if
Hmm.
we're playing small, like I am the size of, and talking like normal like high school whatever, like my age play, right? Like
Hmm.
not professional shit, obviously. I'm a point guard and shooting guard size. Like you wouldn't really want me to be a small forward because a lot of small forwards are going to be a lot like bigger than I am.
That's
You know what I mean?
that's very very riveting. That's a lot of words you just threw at me a little. But yeah, no, I think I get the gist.
Yeah, like Psy. Like somebody said Psy. Basically, point guard's kind of like Psy.
Okay,
You
gotcha.
can score. You probably should score a lot, but like the initial. It depends on what type of point guard you are. There are different types, right? But a lot like you are a distributor first.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
well, you learn something new every day. Am I right, chat? Um,
Yeah.
we all just learned that for the first time together. Anime Jimger. Whew. Thank you for the 5. Since it's a break week, which manga that you guys read will think will have the strongest finish to 2023? Mine is JJK. Which
Finished to
manga?
2020. Oh, so like not ending completely, but like ending of the year. I mean, really, the only ones I can think of are Blue Lock and JJK.
Yeah,
Like
maybe
I can't really
Sakamoto
see
Days?
Sakamoto Days. Like obviously Sakamoto Days is like gonna be good, but I don't know if like hardest hitting thing. Like okay, let me put it like this: if I think about JJK in I don't know like 10 to 15 chapters,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think about Sakamoto Days in 10 to 15 chapters, I can get more hype about what I expect from JJK in 10 to 15 chapters. Um, for Blue Lock, that basically means we'll be getting into like PXG, like that game, like not
Mm,
Sai, sorry, Rin and Shido. And if we're getting that by the end of the year, then that's gonna probably take it for me. I'm really excited to see Isaki versus Rin and Shido versus Kunigami. But I think JJK is a very safe bet. I don't know if somebody asked my height, but it's 6 foot. I said that already, I think.
yeah. I mean,
I
that's
just saw it twice.
that's known Broken Ronin lore.
Yep.
Uh, so woof, man.
Yeah.
Right. You know, BR,
Yeah.
it's been a strange week for the JJK community, right? I'd
Has it?
say, yeah, I'd say as a fan base, we're a little bit more well behaved on break weeks than some like the One Piece fan base, right? Which I'm also part of. Um,
Mm-hmm.
One Piece goes on break, theories start flying, videos start getting spammed, and I'll be honest with you, it gets a little crazy, right?
Uh-huh.
On that note, I just want to say the leaks for next week's chapter of One Piece already dropped. Not even the leaks, the full scans, and that is hilarious to me. They dropped
I told
yesterday,
you
dude.
Admiral's better.
Bro, what? I am just impressed. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I am just impressed.
Yeah.
Insane. I wanted to throw it out there. Wowza.
Yeah, Admiral's better. Admiral's better. I don't have any context. I just saw somebody say that, and I think I agree. Nah, but yeah. Yeah,
Um,
I think it,
yeah.
it depends. It depends on what the last chapter was. Last chapter was like a very, very much regular, not cliffhanger type of chapter. So I think that's why like the JJK community didn't go nuts. You have your typical annoyingness or whatever, but that's prevalent no matter what.
That's true.
That's prevalent no matter what.
Um,
Um,
but yeah,
but I guess getting into that, we wanted to talk about some power scaling, look at some characters, maybe pit them against each other, kind of see what we think. Now, I don't know if you've seen this trend, right? It's just something I just thought of, but like, have you seen like on TikTok like the blind ranking out of 5? Have you seen that a lot on your
the thing where it's like character pops up randomly on like a generator, and
Not quite. So it's like, so the idea is you have 4 slots, right? And you're supposed to rank them 1 through 5, obviously 1 being the best, 5 being the worst, without knowing which character comes next. So like, I don't know, for example.
I've seen that, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Is that how you wanted to do this, or did you just want to go like?
I mean, we can. I was just gonna jump into it. Just like
Yeah.
we're probably gonna disagree on, not disagree, but it's probably gonna spark an interesting discussion.
Yeah,
So I was
okay.
thinking I could just start off like, we'll rank them 1 through 5. I have a list of characters in front of me. I'll like pick out. Let's see. I'll pick out 5, and then I'll start listing them off. You rank them for me.
Okay,
All right.
gotcha. Yeah, let's do
Cool.
this.
So to start off, we'll start off easy. We'll start off easy, right? Let's throw in a quick one. Yuta Akotsu. Where is he ranking?
This is 1 through
Where is
5,
he
right?
ranking? Yep.
I'm gonna have him at number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
Okay.
Yuta at number 3.
Right.
All right. Next up, we got Naobito.
5.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Next up on the list, we got Yuki Tsukumo.
Fuck.
Yeah, this is where it gets hard. Because I'm like, you put Yuta at 3, and I'm like, okay, so you're either saying Yuki's at 2, right? Or 4, and both are weird as hell.
I'm gonna say 4.
Ha, that's unfortunate for you.
Yeah.
Because the next one up here is Choso.
I can't rearrange them after.
Nope, that's the blind ranking part. It's just you just gotta guess.
Bro, because, like, okay, the fear is always you're going to run into Sukuna and Gojo, right? And
Yeah. Choso's is next. So you just to remind you, you have spots 1 and 2. Those are the only ones you have open.
Yeah, let's just do number 2 for Choso.
Okay. And then for the last one, you have Arame. So
I get
Arame
it.
strongest in the verse confirmed. Speaking of Arame, real quick, chat.
That was brutal.
Yeah, that was brutal. Cause let me list it. You got Arame at 1, Choso at 2, Yuta at 3, Yuki at 4, Naobito at 5. What a list. But all good. We can do the same thing in reverse, but give me 1 second.
Yeah, give me. Are you using like a generator or something? Send that over.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. Give me 1 second.
Got you.
Hold on. Let me pull it up. But yeah. Tell them about the Arame prediction I made, bro. I was gonna talk to them. Basically, I predicted, not intentionally, how Arame was gonna get bodied by Gojo as soon as he got unsealed. Hold on,
the clip, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to play it?
Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Let me send it to you. Yeah, so chat, basically the context is like a couple of weeks before Gojo got unsealed, right? Me and Kreams were just talking about Arame for some reason, and I was like, yeah, bro, Arame's probably just gonna like Gojo's gonna come out of the box. Arame's gonna be like, who are you? And then he's gonna one-shot her. And like, obviously I said it, but I wasn't like
supposed to be
prepared.
serious.
Yeah, like I wasn't like prepared for the fucking context. You know what I mean? I wasn't like, it was not like a real prediction in the sense of like, oh yes sir, I know it's I know what's happening. Let me see. Someone on Twitter sent it to me. Let me see what I fucking...
Bro, I'm telling you, chat. When BR and I were talking about this, we realized we might actually have been blessed by Apollo with the gift of prophecy, and I guess you know, we are honored ones. It is par for the course, so we shouldn't be too surprised. But it's still pretty impressive nonetheless.
It was weird as hell, man. Because somebody just on Twitter just DM'd me, right? again, I'm assuming they were just like catching up or like watching back through, and it was
Bro,
crazy.
this is why
when I got.
this is
Yeah,
why you,
I just sent it to you.
yeah, this is why you gotta look up the old VODs, you know? You gotta watch the older Honor Warnings episode to see, like, which one of us, I mean, we might have already predicted the series, right? We have, like, no way of knowing without, like, you know, going back or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Okay, yeah, let me pull this up. Because it's actually hilarious that you got it like this.
Yeah. Because it's so specific. Because it's so like it's such a. It's not just Gojo's gonna like. It's just I don't know, man. It was freaky. It was freaky for me, and I was like, I'm the one who said it. I was like, what the hell? What's going on here?
Okay, let's see. All right, you guys ready? All right, here we go. Here we go.
Relax. Listen, all I'm saying is when Gojo steps out of the box, Arame like steps in front of Sukuna and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then he like one shots her. That's gonna be a hard entrance.
Dude,
that's what I'm saying.
if that's how they get rid of Arame,
It was crazy.
Crazy. Yep. And I'll be honest with you, man. I really wish that there was like a point in time where Gege was like, wait, I could get rid of Arame like this, but then it becomes like
I don't really have anything to do with her. I don't have anything to really move her character forward with.
I think the problem with getting rid of Arame is then like it's just Kenjaku and Sukuna.
Yeah. So yeah, she recovered, right? She didn't die, but like it is funny to think that that is like their first interaction. You know what I mean? Arame, because Arame got pissed at Gojo for talking his shit and then got beat up for it. It was indeed kind of crazy.
Just a little bit, you know. Yeah. So definitely something to write home about, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, you guys should go on a scavenger hunt through old VODs to like find moments like that.
Yeah, and only moments like that. You should ignore everything else you might come across in those old VODs.
Unless like if it's Kreams like highlights, you know what I mean? You guys know what I mean by highlights, then send them to me at the Broken Ronin. Thank you. And if I'm wrong, ignore that. Duh. But yeah, aside from that, yeah, I mean, you guys should. Here it doesn't have every character. There's just like a randomized wheel spinner thingy. Okay. I won't look at stream. I'll like minimize the tab if you.
No. I'm just gonna read them out like you did. All right.
Okay, got you. Cool.
Okay. Let's see. So I'm just like filling in the names, or.
You just spin it, say a character, and then I like put them at a number.
Okay, let's see. This looks fun. Did you like artificially like write out all these names like while we were doing this?
Yes.
That's hilarious. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. If there's any you want to add, that's cool. But if not, just spin at your own leisure.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna do a couple of these characters just to see what the wheel generates. No, I'm not putting that one on there. I almost said Miwa. I don't want to deal with that. You're simply you're simply not gonna behave, bro. You're simply not gonna behave. I know you.
You give to me what the wheel gives to you, bro. Don't cheat. Look at him trying to cheat. Look at him trying to cheat our church, chat.
Okay. All right, ready?
Yeah. All right, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let's spin the wheel.
I'm locked in.
All right. Higuruma.
Damn. Oh shit. All right. I'm gonna go because there's a lot. I'm gonna go. Damn. Yeah. That's tough. Okay. Damn. Okay. I'm gonna go 4. All right. I'm gonna go 4.
Ooh, Higuruma at 4. Okay. That's a little cautious.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him at 4 because there's a lot of characters that can be stronger, but I gotta keep the 5 slot open for like a real bum. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yuji.
Oh shit. Okay. So I'm gonna put Yuji in 3. I'm gonna put Yuji in 3.
Smart. Okay. So 3 and 4 are filled up, so that leaves 1, 2, and 5.
Filled up.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, let's do this.
All right. Let's go. Let's cook.
Megumi.
Yikes. Well, aren't I in between a rock and a hard place? Now I can fuck up my list and put him at 2 for the sake of my pride, or I can put him in 5. All right,
Yep.
I'll put Megami at 5.
Yeah, below Higuruma, right? Dead
Yeah,
last,
put him
right?
at 5. Yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
fake Megami fan. It's no big deal.
Yeah, I'll kill you. I'm sorry, I can't say that. I'll kill you in Minecraft. I'll kill you in
Mm-hmm.
Minecraft. Watch your back, Kreams.
All right, Mekamaru.
Just base?
Uh, how mean do I want to be about this? You know what? I'm gonna give you Mekamaru like in totality.
Okay, then I'll put him at. I mean, well, I have to put him at 2. But damn, I really should have put Mega Man 2. That would have been better.
Yeah, dude, you're
Shit.
really skating
Okay.
by because like if I hadn't given you like Ultimate Mekamaru as like, whew.
Yeah, that would have Mekamaru for Yuji and Hidoruma would be nasty. All right.
Okay.
What's gonna be in the number 1 slot?
Okay, last one is going to be.
Please give me like Gojo or Sukuna, bro. Just give me a special grade.
Choso.
That's not horrible. Like Choso above everyone on the list isn't the worst thing I think I've ever seen in my life. All right. Damn.
Yeah.
You had the worst list.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me,
Damn.
obviously, right? I think I gave you more balanced options. I got them all between the grade 1, grade 2 sphere.
Yeah.
So
Jesus Christ.
the only person that didn't get selected that would have been an easy one for you was Sukuna. I'm so glad you didn't land on him.
Damn, that sucks. Yeah, so let's see. Let me just run down yours was number 1 Rame, number 2 Choso, number 3 Yuta, number 4 Yuki, number 5 Naobito.
Yep.
Mine was number 1 Choso, number 2 Mekamaru, number 3 Yuji, number 4 Higuruma, number 5 Megami.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that was
these are rough.
a
pickings.
little rough, a little
Yeah.
rough. All right. I'll spin our mind. Let's do one more round. Now we both got into custom. All right, we both know kind of what to expect. All right. Let's go. First spin around. Let's see who you have.
I think there's a
you
super
got.
Anime Jimger. You should also rank strongest duos in JJK like a 2v1 scenario. I've thought about that for a while. I'm gonna be honest with you. 90% of them are just gonna include Yuji because at some point you hit a threshold in JJK where fighting with somebody else becomes a liability, right? Like maybe the knee-jerk reaction for a lot of people is like Gojo and blank, but then it's just like right, but the and blank part weakens, the Gojo stew, right? It dilutes it.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like it's like canonically, like that's the case, right? Gay is like, yeah, no, Gojo has to go on missions alone because anybody with him becomes a liability. So,
Gojo and Sukuna. Hello.
right, like against who, right?
Yeah, I mean, hey, bro, fair enough.
If you want to do like Gojo and Sukuna like as a duo versus like other
Against me.
right, like in other verses, that'd be crazy. Like if you wanted to do Gojo and Sukuna versus like I don't know somebody in like Naruto or Bleach, that'd be crazy.
Yeah, it could be something like that. That would be fun. Now your first person is someone that you're familiar with.
Okay.
You got him again, Yuta Okotsu.
All right, I'm gonna lock in at 2.
Okay. You learned from the last time,
Yep.
right? Realize, he's a little bit, he's a little bit stronger. All right. We spinning the wheel again. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And we got next up on here. We got Yorozu.
3.
3.
Mhm.
Okay, chat. So you heard it here first, right? Yorozu underneath Yuta. All right. I think I agree about it. We'll see. Let's go. Next up. Let me get a curveball here. Aw, damn. We about to just give you a straight up list. Hello.
Okay.
Next up is Panda.
5.
Damn, bro. Come on. I need a curveball. Give me somebody that does not need to be here. Let's see. Next, you got Toji.
4.
4. Okay.
Ooh.
You put Toji at 4. That was a gamble, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a gamble.
That's a gamble.
That's a gamble
Yeah.
because because Toji. You listen. And who you got? You got.
This this next one better be good, bro.
Hakari. You got Hakari.
You know what? I can make an argument for one. Yuta even said, he's stronger than me on a roll. I can gaslight myself and enough people into a Hakari like
This is
justification.
basic art. No, I'm joking.
No, come on,
that'd be crazy.
That'd be insane, bro.
That'd be crazy.
I
think I will. Hold on. I'm gonna add like a base and jackpot version of mine.
Oh no, dude, are you? That list just becomes like impossible at that point, right?
Yes, that's the
do you
point.
even
All right.
have like Gojo and Sukuna in these pickings? Out of curiosity.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Let's see what I got. All right, go ahead.
All right. My turn, or do you want to like move on?
Yeah, let's do it one more time, and then
Okay.
we can move on.
Okay. Let me add a couple more people in here.
All right.
You know what sucks? You almost have like this fear that it's gonna land on Gojo or Sukuna, because then like the list gets like 10 times easier.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I want. Hakari over Toji is insane. Granted, like he couldn't, like the blind part is what makes it difficult. I don't think Kreams lacks that much sense.
Okay. There's one curveball in here that I'm really curious to see how you deal with.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
I feel like Toji can beat Jackpot Hakari because he can beat that gambling fucking loser.
If he had
but
inverted
anyways,
spear, sure. Yeah. All right, let's do this.
he doesn't need it.
All right, you ready?
Okay. Yeah. What's
Okay.
up?
So first one is, ooh, let's go curveball right off rip. Curse Spirit Naya.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Specifically Curse
all right,
Spirit,
well,
domain and everything.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll put. Damn. Okay, let me think. Let me run my odds. What are the odds I get someone stronger? So that means like Maki level, Toji level, and above.
Awaken Maki. Awaken Maki. Yeah.
Awaken Maki, like a doubly awaken.
Right. Yeah.
I'm gonna put. No, I can't commit too much. I'm gonna put Curse now at 3.
Interesting. That's a lot higher than I thought you'd put. I thought you put him at like 4 or 5.
No.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Ooh. Okay. Toto,
Okay.
and just to be charitable, like peak Toto before he lost the hand.
Okay, Toto. You can get a. I'll put Toto at 4. You can get weaker than Toto.
Yeah, you can get away with Toto, especially like if you want to say his peak is like 120% at Shibuya.
Yeah, Toto can be 4. Yeah, Toto could be 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Come on.
All right.
Let me cook.
This one's getting a little tense right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Come on, give me the super weak or super
No.
strong. Who'd I get?
No, this is not fair. This is not fair, chat. This is not fair.
Who'd I get?
Sukuna.
All right, Sukuna 1.
Oh, that's.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
If you get Gojo on this next turn, we're ending it.
Let me make it easy for me. Come on. Give me someone good. Give me a weakling, bro. Give me someone at the clear 5.
No way. You gotta be cheating, bro. You gotta be cheating. Panda.
Hey, what? Yes, sir. Give me him at the 5. Let's lock in.
Okay, so that leaves number 2 for you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me Toji or Maki, and this is the perfect list. Let me cook.
No, we're ending this. No.
Who'd I get? Who'd I get?
Not like this, bro. Not like.
Come on, bro. Who'd I get?
You got Gojo.
Yes, sir.
No.
That's what you love to see.
Oh my god, I'm in shambles. How did you get Gojo and Sukuna, bro?
That's how you do a blind ranking.
Oh, that's not. You got that handed to you.
What did that bum say?
Sukuna, Gojo, and Panda.
To grab a hold of luck?
God.
What did that bum say? Are you skilled to grab a hold of luck? Yes, sir. That's mine now. I commandeered it. That's mine. Yes, sir.
This ain't fair. This is not right.
Let me cook.
Where is the justice?
I bodied the list.
M3D, thank you for the 2. What exactly are y'all running? Well, apparently BR was running his luck. I don't know what the hell that was. We're just going. We have like a little wheel here with a bunch of characters, and it's based off this thing on TikTok where you have to like blind rank 5 characters into a top 5 and try to like justify it. But I think we're not gonna do the justification thing because it would be.
I won.
Yeah.
Sukuna at 1, Gojo at 2, Curse Nalia at 3, Toto at 4, and Panda at 5. I'm godlike.
Yeah, you just got that handed to you.
Hey, bro, listen. What's your best list? Hakari over Yuta, Yorozu, Toji, and Panda? Okay. Anyways. I'm him. Alright. Yeah.
Bro,
Hold on now. I just got insulted for winning. Someone said, No, bro.
What?
No, bro. Someone said we're just like Hakari and Yuta, and I know they're calling me Hakari because of my lucky streak. Why would you put that slander on my name? You know how I feel about Hakari. You know how I feel about that guy.
Yeah, I
I
know.
almost banned you on instinct.
Bro, let me tell you, Hakari's been kind of, he's been putting me in some hot water. All right, a lot of people.
Because he's a loser.
Let's talk. Do you want to go there already? Do you want to move on to like the thing we talked about privately about Hakari?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last thing, anime game. Can you read this one? I feel like I keep fumbling it. I want to hear how you say it.
This is the anime Jimger.
Jim
Thank you for the member. Thank you for becoming an honored one. Appreciate you. But you just hit the jackpot for real. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you for being a 1 month member, Anime Jim Gur. See, it's not just your name.
Appreciate you.
It's just I be having trouble a lot. Appreciate you. Right. So a couple days ago, chat BR and I were talking, privately amongst ourselves in whispered, hushed tones, and we want to know what you guys think, right? Do you remember Gojo's infamous line about like the new class of special grades that could surpass even him? There were a couple names.
He put Yuta in there, and then he put some random in there. Like he just put a guy.
Like we gotta talk about it a little bit, right? And then we'll get into some hypothetical versus matches, and then like we'll do a poll with you guys, and we'll all decide on it. It's gonna be really fun. But just we need to vent this like frustration. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yuta, easy argument for, right? Crazy, like arguably most potential in the series. The guy's already a special grade. Like he's lapped special grade twice. He became a special grade in his intro, lost it, and got it back 3 months later. And he's putting the pause on people like Ishigori and Uro, like, and what's the cockroach's name? Kurushi, like at the same time, right? Like he's got a domain. The guy is him, right? Yuta is him, right? There's a reason he is going third after Gojo loses to Sukuna. If Gojo loses to Sukuna, I mean, right? Ooh, I caught myself there.
Oops.
Yuta, easiest argument like in favor of surpassing Gojo. Are we all in agreement, right? Good start so far?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Next up, we got Yuji, protagonist of the series. Got a lot of tricks, got a lot of teasers surrounding his new ability, soul swapping. Could it be blood manipulation? Will he have his mother's anti-gravity technique? The ceiling is very high for Yuji, right? He's got a lot going for him.
Mm-hmm. Next easiest, I don't know about that, but yeah.
Then we got
Yuji definitely gonna surpass Gojo for sure.
Right. Then we got Megami, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty easy argument there. Megana kind of showing us what Awaken Megami or 10 Shadows user could really do. The way he could utilize Maharaga, the crown, really like flex their abilities, right? There's a lot of room there. 10 Shadows is definitely worth being like a cherished prize technique, right?
Huh.
BR, you want to tell him the last two names on Gojo's list?
All right, so we got. Well, I almost forgot I was on stream and said something crazy. So we got a real sorcerer, right? We got Al Toto, a goat, big brother, W support, right? A guy who could obviously surpass the likes of Gojo. I mean, just look at his mentality, bro. He's got the mentality of a special grade right there. Now when we're looking at the logistics of actually making him stronger than Gojo, Boogie Woogie don't really seem like the type of technique for that, right? But if Mahito didn't take off his hand, he would have got there, right? He would have achieved that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he needed to train a little bit more with that special grade Bomb Yuki, achieve some more of his potential, right?
Right.
Now, after all of these great characters, these great sorcerers, these great fighters, we got what's his name? We got gambling addict.
Kenji Hakari.
Kenji Hakari.
Now.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, right? All hating and all dick eating pushed to the side for me and BR, right? He's hating, I'm dick eating, if that wasn't, clear.
I'm not hating, bro. I'm telling the truth.
We came to an unfortunate realization, chat, and please, bear with us as we delivered the terrible news. So you might want to sit down for this. What is Hakari's awakening? Like what is he doing to push him over the edge? And let's walk you through like the thought process, right? Let's go hand in hand and go through this carefully, because we like as you know, a Hakari apologist, I was sickened by the news, right? But I think it's time we confront it head on and see what we can do to move forward. All right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jackpot Hakari is like his trump card, right? That's his Maharaga, that's his Rika, that's the main mechanism by which Hakari is able to contend with special grades and damn near be labeled one himself, right? We're all in agreement of that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
My question is, and this is the part that you might need to brace yourself for, is why? What exactly about Jackpot Hakari is impressive? Like really, like let's break it down very meticulously.
All right, that's
right?
a silly question.
No. Hold on. Right. Defensively, easy answer. Right. Super impressive. The guy's basically immortal. Like duh. Right. Damn near infinite cursed energy. Like he's just doing his thing. Right. However, the designation, like the definition of special grade, is that they need to be able to wipe out an entire country by themselves. So, for Yuta, Rika Blast, you know, he's got a few things in his arsenal to make it happen, right? At some point. And we can get to Toto in a second. But, like, Megumi and Yuji also, like, might have some techniques that enable them to, like, fit that definition, right? Or even surpass it. What is Hakari outputting to send him over the edge, right? Like, what exactly is in Kinji Hakari's like jackpot mode that isn't just really hard punch and really hard kick? I'm genuinely asking, and I think I'm gonna pass the mic over to BR, you know, you know, special counsel or whatever. All right, you know, it's we're tagging in.
Okay. All right. So I guess the big thing is like Hakari is very impressive with Jackpot, right? I don't really have a problem with like any of his showings there, right? So this is me removing my hate. But like in terms of potential, I would just argue that his track to growth is a lot more difficult to see. So like Yuta, he can absorb, as far as we know, an infinite amount of curse techniques. He has more curse energy than Gojo. He has Rika, who can store God knows how much curse energy offhand, right? There's a lot of ways that he can get stronger. In like a very simple sense, right? You can very easily and pretty logically say he can get that much stronger, right? Like, we know he can copy curse techniques. We know he can keep them for long periods of time. While we don't know what the conditions are, we do know that even after losing the real or original Rika, he can keep absorbing or copying curse techniques, right? With Megumi, obviously, we're getting a lot of a showcase of, like, what he'd be able to do with Maharaga. Obviously, we saw versus Yorozu too, what can be done with the 10 Shadows curse technique in general, blah, 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 right? Gojo himself is, like, not only just said that Megumi has potential that is like not below Yuji's, obviously another character who can supposedly surpass him, but like the technique has also killed someone with the same technique as Gojo in the past, right? Granted, it was a double knockout type of deal, but the fact that it was able to for some reason get past the defenses of the 6 Eyes Limitless users in the past means that, you know, it's got the 10 Shadows got a little kick to it, right? Yuji, I mean, Sukuna's techniques may ingrain on him his ability to manipulate the soul, or to switch souls with people, his ability to hit the soul, and he's obviously just shown like a very high aptitude for growth. Gojo's also mentioned like, damn, I'm scared of people that have like really savage physical attacks, right? Obviously, probably a reference to Toji.
Yep.
Yuji's showing himself to be more and more capable of like getting close to those levels, blah blah blah, right?
Right.
These characters are all starting to like not even if you think they're on their way there yet, right? That's irrelevant. It's just that they show potential and they show a very like obvious trail there. For Hakari, and I ask Hakari fans like genuinely, without just like making up an ability he's never been hinted to have, what is the next step? You know what I mean? Like with Megumi, the next immediate step could be mastering his domain, or it could be Maharaga. With Yuji, it's master or just show off what the hell your soul swapping is. For Yuta, it's get to grubbing because you need more techniques.
Literally,
right?
like have
For
Rika
Hakari,
go on an all you
what
can
is
eat
it?
binge, right? Like especially for people like you know, I'm just gonna say it, right? Like Yuta and Yuji, Gege almost kind of plagiarized. Like eating is a huge part of their power up, right? Like that is a huge mechanism for their potential ceiling and all that it goes along with it, right? For Megami, it's just, hey, you have like 10 Pokemon, like just make the most use out of it, and you have this like really powerful one that can like adapt to like basically anything and just like win you most fights, especially if you can tame it, right?
Mm.
With Toto, it's just I feel like he can be like a really busted like team player, as crazy as that sounds, right? I think we spoke about it like that. Like not necessarily a domain, but if Toto wanted to, he could just like, I don't know, teleport you to the bottom of the ocean or something crazy like that, right?
Mm.
For Hakari, what is he doing with all the cursed energy, right? Like it seems like a lot of it is just going to waste. And we know that cursed energy efficiency is a huge part of like how you're able to function as a sorcerer, how you're able to, power techniques and all of that.
Mm.
So the question is, to what end is Sakari, doing anything?
Sure. Yeah. And like people are bringing up some interesting points, like maybe better cursed energy output, right? Very potentially possible. I don't know. I don't know to what end he'd be able to do that. I don't know how much like
Because he's not
that cursed
firing
energy
it, right?
output
Yeah.
can be increased. Maybe he can though, right? It's not completely impossible.
Maybe with the
And like
binding,
gambling
though?
different things, but it's sort of like not that he can't get stronger, because Gege can make anything up in the next chapter, right?
Mhm.
Hikari's like, I actually secretly have a double jackpot where I do
Mhm.
blah 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 blah, right? It's more so that like his end game, at least that I can speculate on, just doesn't seem as impressive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
I think I definitely need to see some kind of like awakening or justification for Hakari, because the alternative, as you and I discussed, BR, is there's no real case for Hakari to keep on going. If like
yeah, because like,
it,
yeah, people
it's
keep mentioning he's unkillable and stuff, and like that's very true. He has
like yeah,
longevity,
the,
but
the the
there's a
defense is
very
crazy, yeah, right? But like the
yeah.
problem is like the other part, everything else.
The problem is offense, and the problem is also he probably just has like one of the more easily exploitable weaknesses for a character of his caliber, right? If you're strong enough to simply survive for the 4 minutes and 11 seconds,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like for example, Sukuna or Gojo, like let's say Gojo and Sukuna, right, for some reason can't kill Hikari even in
Mm-hmm.
Jackpot,
They
right?
just wait it out.
The instant he's out of it, you're getting blitzed in one shot,
Yeah,
right?
like on
And
some
it's sort of like
yeah, what's his name? Ishigori shit, right?
sure
Like
something similar.
yeah, Sukuna's like the annoying thing about Hikari's jackpot is once you get into like the top tier people in the verse, it might as well not do anything except allow you to survive. You know what I mean? Like, is there
Mm,
Gojo hits him with a hollow purple, he can heal probably, right?
yeah.
Cool, but like, what are you gonna do back?
What are you gonna do back is nuts. What are you gonna do back is funny. The thing to also consider, right? And this is like this more comes from like a genuine inquisition rather than anything, right? But like I think one thing that'll determine how viable Hikari is in like elite battles is like how his domain clashes with others and how refined it is relative to others. Because if Hikari like he's opened his domain at least on screen to two characters, right? Charles, who didn't have a domain, and Kashimo, who if he does have a domain, couldn't use it because he wasn't able to use or he refused to use his
Mm,
technique, right? Now, if those rule based domains clash in the same way Shuritsu, which I'm not saying they are, but if they do, he's not pulling that shit. He's not getting a jackpot easy on like anybody with a domain,
yeah, I
right?
mean, my like you could say when they're first launching it, right? Hakari's domain is canonically like faster than 0.2 seconds. Like the narrator said he was even faster than Mahito and Shibuya, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, which is not an unimpressive amount of time, but it's like it's not infinite void. It's not like violence isn't turned off. What happens is they get info dumped, and if they're any sort of competent, like as a combatant, like Kashimo, this is what I always find funny, right? When Kashimo was hit with Restless Gambler, um, he just like got all the rules in like a panel. You know what I mean? Like he just like he took it in stride and like went accordingly, right? Charles, like it was like whoa, what's all this, right? Like a little mini infinite void almost, right? In terms of reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So especially like if like, for example, let me walk you guys through this simulation, right? Hakari whips out
Mm-hmm.
Restless Gambler, it hits Sukuna, right? Like just beats him to it like quickly enough, right? Let's assume Hakari can make it that fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sukuna's gonna be like, okay, I it's not infinite void, like I'm fine. So you're not in jackpot now, right? He's like, no, okay, die then. Like,
Yeah, because that's sort of the thing, right? So like even if the technique activation be faster than anybody's, right? Let's say it's
right, yeah.
faster than Gojo, Sukuna's, blah blah blah. As soon as they open their domain back,
It's
like because the thing is that they can still open it
yeah,
back. Like you can open a domain after
but
another
like,
domain's been
but
like
like,
Megami does that versus Dagon, right?
but like
Dagon's been using his technique,
but like it doesn't
but
even need to be that deep, right? Because like with anybody of that caliber, like anybody that you're putting Hakari up against that would be a challenge for him, like going past like the initial jackpot rush, right? Like Kashimo and above, right? Let's say
mm-hmm.
they can most likely just beat Hakari up in the jackpot, like while he's trying to get it, right? Like let's say it's Gojo or whatever, like come on, bro. Like Gojo's gonna hit him with a couple blue roundhouse kicks, and Hakari's gonna be laid out before he hits that like cutscene. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I so people mentioned like he can spam domains, and I think an important thing to at least factor in is he can only do that because of Jackpot, right? Which is
Mm-hmm.
not to say he can no longer do that, but what I'm getting at, right, is if he gets in a domain clash and the domain clash with him not having Jackpot, he can no longer open a domain just like everybody else in the series.
Yeah,
And then you just have base Akari fighting someone, and that's not good for anybody that wants Akari to win. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's all it is. There are, I guess, definitely potential ways that could happen. Like someone mentioned, like his technique can be more akin to like a general probability manipulation or like some sort of luck manipulation, and Akari is just using that technique in a very limited way currently. And I could see something like that. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's not unheard of for a character to limit their potential just based on their imagination.
Right,
I mean, Megumi was only summoning Shikigami rather than like actually manipulating shadows at
right.
first, right?
Yeah.
So it's very possible. It's just like it's just one of those things where
Like,
I think because of Hikari's later introduction, it's really hard to, and he's only been in, I'll say, two fights, right? One
mm-hmm.
against a serious opponent, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's kind of hard to glean what the upper limits of it look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think another part of it is like Hakari's he hasn't been shown to do anything that's like particularly destructive. Like if you go and replay his fight against Kashimo, what overwhelmed Kashimo was just his base stat. Not even overwhelmed. Overwhelmed is so crazy, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Kashimo was able to contend with Hakari's like blows and dish out some counters. The problem was like keeping Hakari down, right? The
Mm-hmm.
argument that a lot of people would make for Hakari's like power is that he'd always win a war of attrition. Um, especially if he keeps hitting the jackpots, right? Which is
Yeah.
not untrue, but also once we get into those top tiers, right? Like Yuta's probably gonna, he has a lot of shit to outlast Hakari or at least put a stop to him. Sukuna definitely does. Gojo definitely does. A lot of these people will just they can outlast him or go as long as him. And the problem is Hakari has so many more openings than they do. And there's one thing I thought about, which is like, okay, but Hakari's able to, shift the coordinates of his domain, like he did with Kashimo and the electricis, right? Like above the water.
Yeah.
Cool. Neat.
Is that the end of your point?
Yeah. Yeah, just, good for him.
I will say a point I didn't consider before is like so I'll say it like this, right? I think Kari has to stop fighting like somebody who has a limit to his curse energy in Jackpot.
Yeah, it's weird because like
Um,
where's it going? Like it just seems like a lot of it is just going to waste, and that's driving me crazy.
I think I like so I think it was Tester or somebody else, right? Maybe using projectiles, kind of like Yuta. I think that would be smart. Maybe it's more of a like an application of the abilities he already has rather than gaining new ones. Because I will say he fights like he fights aggressively and he fights like very recklessly. But I think more so than that, he needs to fight like somebody who cannot potentially run out.
Yeah.
Like just throw that shit away, basically at every turn, and I think that would probably help him.
Yeah, like I definitely think there's an argument to be made for Hakari like putting better use to having, infinite cursed energy for 4 minutes and 11 seconds, right? Like what can you do in that time aside from reverse curse technique that you couldn't otherwise do? And
Yeah, he's definitely more durable and like stronger, but I think there's something to be said about maybe him being more aggressive with it. Um
hmm,
like yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. Like what if like and you can get crazy like now that I'm thinking about it, like now I'm trying to think like if I was Hikari, right?
Hmm.
What do I start doing? let me make a binding vow. So like
Yeah,
I
binding vow,
restrict my
literally.
cursed energy to some still extremely high, but like some like I don't know, like, oh, now I only have twice Yuta's curse energy. I have Sukuna level curse
Mm-hmm.
energy, right? But for that last minute, my AP and durability, like whatever, right? You do
Yeah.
some like Nanami bullshit, and you could probably start doing it like that. Like when I think about it like that, I think Hikari's maybe road map to it is just gonna be like it's gonna be a lot more like wily, a lot more sort of being a like it might be a lot of context dependent things for him, you know what I mean? Like he may not have a very static move set.
Mm-hmm.
It may just depend on the scenario. Um yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, dude. I look. I really love Hikari. I think he's got like potential. I just want to. I want to see a mechanism for him to actually get stronger and like improve and hit that special grade or above special grade level that Gojo was talking about, because it seems like the alternative is Gege setting Hikari up as like you know the line,
Fall
bro.
man.
You know the line.
For
You want to
the
say it?
first time in his
Like
life, Hikari's
his luck
luck ran
ran
out.
out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I would love that, but like let me like removing myself from that, very joyous universe or that reality. I think you can grub up some shit for Hikari. Um like he's obviously a very resourceful character. Um and I think someone brought it up too. To me, more importantly than like the Black Flash actually landing, because Hikari's, I'm gonna be real with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's one of two things, right? Either you think Hikari's AP is like impressive, but not so much so that it is like to the top tiers, or you think Kashimo has like ridiculous durability. Because reread that fight, and Kashimo does not take any significant damage. You know what I mean? Neither does Hikari, but well, I won't say he doesn't take significant damage. Hikari doesn't have much lasting damage from their punches, right? But like Kashimo, as far as we know, doesn't heal, and Kashimo just realistically speaking eats everything up until the water. Um, so it's like I think a big thing for Hikari will probably be like it could be having higher output. I could see that. Um, I wonder. I don't know if that's incorporated in the talent thing or how much that can increase or decrease. Like for example, can capacity and output increase enough? Not increase enough, but like are they things you can increase like I don't know, like ki or chakra or nen or shit? Because obviously a lot of it's talent based and all power systems are, but I don't know if we've ever gotten like a clear cut answer on could anybody have Ishigori level output if they trained it enough or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's definitely like I want to see more from Hakari. That's kind of the base sentiment. Also,
Yeah.
Sleeping Danger. Thank you for the 14. Hakari upgrades from pachinko to blackjack. You think?
Plays a real game.
Yeah, you think changing the rules of the like game gives him different powers? That'd be pretty funny. I think like when he first used his curse technique on Yuji, it was just like the doors, so he's just able to summon subway doors kind of
And
casually.
that's why I haven't even talked about like basic Ari because I don't know what the like what are we summoning train doors for? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I guess it's like related to like the whole I don't know what the characters' names are, but like the girl getting on the train or not getting on
yeah,
the
yeah,
train,
yeah.
like it could be
Bro.
related to that,
Like,
whatever, who cares? But basic Ari doesn't seem to be
yeah,
like all that crazy in that
like
regard.
it would definitely be funny if Hikari was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna make train doors like the size of buildings." Like, oh, ooh, that's
Yeah.
crazy, bro. Um,
Also, Yasha of the Flames. You talk about characters dying a lot for a guy with a Rengoku profile picture. What are we doing here? Have some shame, bro. Come on now. Nah, but didn't Mei reach a ceiling? She did reach a ceiling, but I would imagine Mei doesn't have as much potential as Hikari. And Hikari, well, I'm trying to think, because Hikari, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah.
Maybe basic Hikari doesn't really exist
Mm.
since his domain expansion is his curse technique. We'll phrase it like non-jackpot Hikari then.
Yeah.
Whatever he is when he is not immortal. That one.
Yeah, base, I guess. I mean, look, I think there's like Hakari needs to figure out what to do with all that cursed energy. But aside from that, I want to see the needle being moved. All right.
Yeah, I'll shoot Hikari some bail here, right? I can understand why the needle hasn't moved because from Hikari's perspective, it never has to have been. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like Yuta in that sense. We talked about this in private, but
Mhm.
like Yuta hasn't had that like Toji stabbing him in his neck. He's going to die unless he cooks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Hikari's like, I was close to death once, but close to death kind of means a little bit less with
Y-
Hikari and Jackpot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Close to death is, yeah, that's fine, but like,
I'll be fine.
not
Yeah.
really. You know what I mean? Um,
It's not as like sincere as it was with like Gojo in the Honored One moment, and with like somebody like Yuta, right? He never truly awakened, right? Like he the most he ever did was the Black Flash against Geto, but
mhm,
the final blast he did with Rika was because of a binding vow to give her up, not because of any
mhm.
kind of like inherent new understanding of cursed
Cursed
energy.
Energy or Rika.
Yeah.
And Geto, in fact, says like he before Yuta makes the binding, right? He's like, I'm glad I attacked you before you could use Rika properly,
Yeah.
right?
Which is
So yeah.
really funny because like in the 3 or 4 months since then, he has figured out how to use Rika properly, and he's sort of back at just that level. At least that's my interpretation. He just sort of like hit that same level that he was in JJK Zero, but like replacing
More
power,
techniques,
yeah, finesse,
more like versatility, blah
yeah,
blah blah.
right. Like adding finesse in the words of Choso. Um,
Mhm.
long way to go. He's got much more room to grow, especially if you want to give him like something of his own Honored One moment, right? Show like him and Gojo are like cousins for real, right?
Huh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
For Yuji, let's be honest, the guy's been having nothing but those near death experiences.
Hmm.
Like, but it's so funny. Yuji almost feels like this might be a little crazy to say, but like he might have less talent innately for jujutsu than somebody like Gojo, which is why it might be taking him a long time to get the message. Because for a guy who can like subconsciously see the outline of a soul, he can't. He hasn't like how do I hit it directly, right? Like that never clicked for him. Um,
It's mentality. I don't think it's talent. I think it's mentality.
yeah,
His mentality does not prime him to take advantage of those things. I think. I think like he's not a very opportunistic person yet. Maybe like the Sukuna thing, like he wants to. If you track his thinking, right? It's absorb Sukuna fingers, die. Absorb
yeah,
Sukuna fingers, die. And then after he gets bodied by the special grade and like Sukuna like kills him and makes a binding vow, blah blah blah, right? Then he's like, I want to be strong. But it's sort of like it's sort of still a not a half-assed effort. Like it's not that at all, right? Yuji's obviously like working himself to the bone to learn that shit. But I think the like a big difference between something like Gojo and Yuji is like Gojo, you could not convince him until he was like literally dying that he was weaker than anybody. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
But Yuji is willing to defer, and Gojo also versus Toji didn't have an out. He didn't have a we just need Gojo Sensei, right?
Hmm.
He had a I'm currently bleeding out really, really, really
Right,
bad.
right.
I gotta get back. And like with Yuji, even in the Culling games, even in Shibuya, right? He's fighting not to like win these battles and defeat these guys
But
on
for
his
his
own.
life,
He's
yeah.
fighting. He's fighting to get Gojo back so Gojo can win these battles, right?
Right, right.
Whereas I think Gojo's like, I have to get up and I have to kill this guy. Yuji so far hasn't had that mindset, and I think Gojo losing would allow him to be like, okay, I really have to step up because I'm it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Gojo Sensei can no longer do this. It's do or die, right? If I fuck this up, or if any of us fuck this up, right? We no longer have that like reliable thing at the back of our mind is like, well, Gojo can still clean it up, right? Or so long as we get Gojo out of the box, we can help. Like, nah, if you have Sukuna like beat Gojo, Hakari, Yuta, Maki, Yuji, every single character, like barring Kosh, like every single character who knows Gojo is gonna be like, ah, okay.
Mm.
So some people will probably despair, right? Some people will
Mm-hmm.
probably just be like, if Gojo lost, we can't do it. But I
Yeah.
think Yuji, I think Yuta, I think Maki, I think Hakari are gonna step up to the plate and be like, okay, got it. That was my fault. I was relying on you when I should have I should have been like, put me in, coach. I'm ready to fight. That's
Yeah.
kind of how I feel about it.
Okay, so it's a mentality, sort of like what Uro said about disregarding all others like a calamity type thing. But doesn't that,
Yeah.
I guess, doesn't that sort of like self justify Sukuna's philosophy as like the only one? Because we go back and forth on like maybe there's some wiggle room to that philosophy. Like maybe Gojo can be like a calamity because he relies on others, right? Like an alternate interpretation of the way to get to that level of power. But like maybe for other people, it makes more sense to go with that approach. I don't know.
I mean, you can justify Sukuna's decision by it being like by being practical for strength, but it's not the only like I think you can be and I've said this before, but you can be a calamity for good, I think. I think like ignoring everything else around you and like living for yourself is sort of like, well, what do you want? You know what I mean? It depends. For Sukuna, it's destruction and everything around him is like inferior. But imagine if Yuji just like I will kill or whatever anyone in my way who's like I mean like basically what he did versus Mahito, right? He's like, listen, I'm not interested in this whole morality thing. Okay? I'm you, you're me, whatever. You were right. It doesn't matter though. I'm going to hunt you to the ends of the earth and kill your dumbass. That kind of like that that mentality of no matter who or what stands in my way, I will achieve what I want to achieve, right? The thing you want to achieve doesn't have to be negative, right?
Mm,
And because if it was, I think Gojo would have got blitzed in one shot already.
true.
I think
Yeah.
Gojo, even being relative to Sukuna at this point, whether or not you think he's winning so far, whether or not you think he's losing so far, it doesn't matter. The fact that he's alive this far into a fight with Sukuna, who has that like that blatantly calamity sort of like opinion on things,
Mm,
it shows that mindset does not have to be as rigid as do evil things and hurt people in order to become strong.
true. Okay. Yeah. Um, I guess that's the case. I guess that's true. I can see an argument for or against it. I think it really depends on how you see if Gojo's already attained that based on like how this fight's going, or if you think that there's still like a gap between calamity and, honored one or whatever you want to call it, right?
Maybe. I think because I'm of the belief that Gojo will lose this fight in a 1v1, but Gojo will win in general. Like his lifestyle approach, if you will, I guess will win because I think obviously Yuji, Megumi, Yuta, blah 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 blah
Mm-hmm.
will be victorious, and Sukuna will in the end lose.
All right.
Which I think is what Gojo's going for more than
Mm.
anything.
So speaking of that, taking a pivot into our main topic of the episode,
Hmm.
um, where do you see everybody's strength at the current moment in time, right? In the Gojo versus Sukuna era of Jujutsu Kaisen, right? The post culling game, I don't even know what you want to call it, rounds era.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, because
Relative to what? Like, what's the benchmark?
so let me give you like a baseline take, and then we can go from here, right?
Okay.
I believe the floor of the entire verse has gone up since the culling games, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and in no small part satisfying Kenjaku's desire to see like the golden age of Jujutsu come back. I think it is successful in that regard. You got people like Higuruma and Kashimo like out here putting in work. Um, so that's been pretty cool to see. And I think like the modern sorcerers have had to adapt to it and improve like their own abilities and power and have grown because of it. For example, Maki is the most obvious one. She's grown considerably, right, since like the start of the
Mm-hmm.
series, right? I'd
Mm-hmm.
argue Maki's probably had the most change from beginning to where we are now relative to everybody else, right? I don't think that's too big of a
Okay.
stretch, right? Like I'll put it to you like this.
So from the beginning of the story to
Yeah,
now.
like Maki with the glasses.
Mm,
You could even say Maki from JJK 0, like going from not being able to like do anything without holding what's it called, that staff she had, all the way to
yeah.
like putting the paws on Sukuna in Megumi's body.
I don't. I mean, there's definitely a fair argument for that, but like when you look at Yuta and you look at like Yuji, I think that those are also like very
Okay,
probable candidates.
let, let
Yeah.
me let me let me put it to you like this, right? Maki was weaker than Yuji and is now stronger than Yuji, right? But Yuji has gotten
Isn't weaker than
stronger.
Yuji with no cursed energy.
She isn't weaker
I
than Yuji with no cursed
think
energy. Like, no, no, I
no,
the,
Maki isn't weaker than no cursed energy Yuji. Like the Yuji we see at the beginning of the series where he can't manipulate his cursed energy. Like I think Maki would have beat that guy.
I've never heard that take before. I don't feel strongly enough about it to disagree with you or agree with you. I'm just gonna like let it sit, right?
Fair
Because
enough.
Yuji like mostly fights with cursed energy after like episode 4. So I don't think it's worth like getting into the weeds with it, right? But like Goodwill, for
Mm.
example, right? Where you saw Maki catch the bullet, right? That was like the first big
Sure.
display of
Yeah.
where she was at.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to like where Yuji was, going mano a mano with Toto.
Mm-hmm.
Like we can say they were operating at different levels, right?
By then, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
right.
I just think there's a big difference between that Yuji and like episode slash chapter 1 Yuji.
You're such a you're so pedantic, bro.
You just said from this. That's why I specifically like asked
Fine,
because I'm like
fine,
from the
fine.
start of the
From
series, their
like
first and like
like
Yuta's
you take
some
it
like
so literally.
scrawny dude who Maki beats up.
Okay.
I asked
Okay.
you the question from
Fine.
the beginning of the series.
Fine. Let me add additional stipulations since you want to be a dork about it. All right. Let's say from when Yuji was able to achieve a current baseline of the level of power he will comfortably be working on top of for the rest of the series, which in my opinion is like the post Sukuna ripping out heart, watching movies affair, which is Goodwill, right? So that's what I'm basing it off of. Okay?
Sure. If
All
you
right.
take Yuji not from the beginning and
Right.
compare him to Maki from the beginning, then yes, Maki has grown more.
Okay. Now, you can really stretch it out with Maki because she was there in JJK 0, right? And you
Mm.
can really go crazy with like the before and after, right? Like we can say that the Maki currently in the manga with like her current armor, oh my god, with her current weapons would probably like that fight where Geto like raided the school would probably have gone down differently if it was Awaken Maki, right?
Mm-hmm.
He would have gotten Vietnam flashbacks to Toji when he was a teenager. That's what I think.
Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
So, in totality, I think Maki has, like, relatively speaking, the most, like, improved award from start to finish of like, her journey compared to, like, where Yuji started, right? Because you can say, oh, but, Yuji can attack the soul and he can go, like, crazy against like Mahito and compete with Toto, and I'm just like, look, bro, she has the Soul Splitter now. She's got like this additional perception. I think she can take it a step further. Why am I justifying this to you? What's going on here? You a Maki hater? Is there something you want to talk to me
Nobody
about?
said that. I said saying Maki is improved the most is fair. I just think Yuta and Yuji are both in that conversation. Like you
I
would,
mean,
I don't think
like
you'd be able to
Yuta's
get
like
to get away.
Yuta's
Like
tricky.
Yuta is like Maki's one shotting start of the series Yuta. You know what I mean?
Okay, let me. The way I see it, right, is like from this relative start and end compared to like Yuta, right? He goes pretty far, but currently it's like in the story, it's just like yeah, he just sort of like a different version of where he peaked in the last time we saw him.
Yeah. Once again, like if you're adding the stipulation of you're not talking about the beginning of Yuta and Yuji's story, then yeah, Maki obviously clears. I'm just talking about like what I'm saying, right? Obviously you've added your context. I'm just saying, right? Um, like okay, beginning of the story, right? The first time we see the character to the last time we've seen the character, right? Yuta is someone that Maki would obviously beat, right? And you can debate Yuji or not, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. Um, but like I'm just saying all of them improve to me to levels that are so significantly different from their base forms that I think you can have a discussion on either one of them, right? You have a character who cannot manipulate cursed energy in the slightest, and someone who would like who can't even like for example Ijichi is telling them that like yeah bro I don't know if you could take on a grade 2 sorcerer, like that's probably too much for you at your current state.
Hmm.
um and then you have him obviously Yuji now being like pulling up to Mahito's like I'm you, and then after that Sukuna is like what's this strength, like all this kind of bullshit, right?
Hmm.
Same thing for Maki, she definitely gets a lot stronger. um I
But
think
like,
Yuta's is probably the better argument for like potential growth though, but it's not a I completely disagree with you. I just think Yuta is close enough to where it's a discussion worth having.
okay, I'm willing to settle on that. Um, that being said, right, I don't want to escape from the initial point, which is just everybody's grown, right?
Hmm.
Good neutral statement. We're both in agreement there.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
these guys have
Okay.
gotten better.
So let's stress test this, right? Um,
Okay.
now let's do some pairings, right? Okay. So the first one is going to be I don't want to give you Nanami, you'd have way too much fun with it. Okay. Choso versus Hakari. right?
In terms of just a straight up fight, or
Right.
is that it?
Yeah, just straight up fight right now because they've both grown tremendously, right? Choso's grown in his fight against Kenjaku, and Hakari's. Would you say he's grown after Kashimo? Would you say that he's like
No.
okay?
So I was gonna disagree with your statement earlier, right? Like before, like the potential, like from beginning of the series, right? I would argue this isn't the goal. Like this isn't at all the golden age that Kenjaku has been looking for. And I would say that besides Maki, I don't think any of the main cast. You can add Yuji in there. Yuji's fair too. But like Yuta's remained the same. Hakari's remained the same. Megumi was basically the same. I kind of think that like I've always seen the Colleen games as a prelude to what Kenjaku was looking for. But Hakari, specifically to answer your question, I don't think he's changed that much.
Yeah. So I threw up the poll in chat. I just want to see like who people think is what.
Okay, is Hakari starting in Jackpot or is he starting in base?
This is starting in like totally cold. So like Choso isn't like in flowing red scale, for example, right? We're talking like
Okay.
like cold start for both of them. You want to give your
I think I got. So if they start cold, right?
Mhm.
Choso just has better feats than Hakari does, like base to base.
But like
right?
Choso in character doesn't go like supernova or flowing or piercing blood like off rip, right? If he's
I mean,
fighting,
he's every time we've seen him fight, he started off with piercing blood. I'll put it like that. In every single instance.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like,
but
so
like
it's hard
okay,
to say.
the problem is whenever he does that, it's like it's always personal. Like he does it.
What about Naoya?
He didn't lead
Like-
with that. He like
Yes, he does. Like he literally starts the fight like that. Like I'll show you the panel where he claps his hands to do it, and Naoya stops him.
fuck right.
I'll show you the panel right
no,
now.
no, I remembered it. I remembered it.
And that's so like I get it. Not Yuta. Yuji personal. Kenjaku personal.
Personal, yeah.
But Naoya didn't. Now people may be like the brother thing, but like Naoya didn't mention that until later into the fight.
Yeah.
And it's like I get you can say it right, but like if Choso's starting every single fight we've seen with piercing blood, it's kind of hard to say he doesn't start the fight with piercing blood.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So if you did he immediately go piercing blood with Yuji? Yuji reacted though, like and tried to cover it with his arms, right?
Yeah, Yuji did react.
Yeah, but and the only reason it didn't like affect Yuji is because like the poison didn't like incapacitate it.
The poison should do that for anybody else.
Right.
People. Okay, so let me say this thing for Hakari real quick because people always bring this up with like Charles and shit. Charles doesn't scale anywhere, right?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Charles is so tricky because like you don't know how strong or weak he's supposed to be, especially with the manga panel technique. Like how fast is seeing into the future? Like that Hakari's just
Like we
easily
know
able
the
to blitz
time
him,
frame.
right?
Right. We know the time frame. Like it's 1 second, it's 2 seconds. But like I'll put it like this, right? Now I'm not saying like Charles is relative to a normal human. I say this to say, right? You could give me the ability to see 1 second to the future. That wouldn't mean jack shit against certain characters, against certain levels of speed. So what I'm saying is like, yes, and I'm not saying Hakari's like weak or anything, but his scaling is like the only scaling we've really seen in base is Charles, who doesn't scale anywhere, and Yuji, who is explicitly saying he's not gonna fight back. So it's like, what are we doing here?
Okay, so my counterpoint would be, well, Hakari, he would start off in Jackpot, no? Like, especially if he senses Choso's, like, what do you call it, energy? Because, like, with Charles, right, like...
Didn't you say in the beginning of this he doesn't start off in
No,
Jackpot?
no, not starting off in Jackpot, sorry, like, ready to launch it, like hand signs up kind of thing, right? Because it wasn't until, what's it called? Charles hit him with the pen and got some first blood that Hakari took him seriously. But with Kashimo, he's already in Jackpot, so I don't know if it's a little murky as far as like is he like Higuruma whipping out the domain expansion first thing, or do you think there's like a little bit of leeway? Because the problem is with Charles, like he was riding a Ferris wheel with him, right? And his hands were in his pockets for like the entire fight. So like clearly Hakari isn't like too bad at like assessing risk, right? If he's already in Jackpot going into the Kashimo fight, you'd assume seeing Choso, it's like, okay, let me go into Jackpot like off rip on some Higuruma shit. Like, is that too out of character for you to like say?
Kari just sees Choso. Like, do they have no knowledge of each other? He just sees him and he's like, "Wow, this guy needs my Jackpot domain."
But like you know how
I don't
Yuji and them like look at like they feel Yuta and they're like, wait, Gojo, no, creepier. Like kind of like sorcerers have the ability to sense others like based on the
First
composition and
energy. Yeah, yeah,
quality.
yeah, 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 yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that's fine. But Choso, sure. Let's say he does, right?
Mhm.
Is he gonna get Jackpot before Piercing Blood turns his brain into smithereens?
It
You know what I
depends on
mean?
which one you think is faster.
The activation of the domain, sure, but the Jackpot being achieved, definitely not.
Okay, so
Like,
how disoriented do you want to make it for Choso? Like, is he taking it with the same level of stride Kashimo did, or is he like stumbling a little bit like Charles?
it doesn't matter. Hakari's like getting piercing blood through the dome.
Hmm.
Like what I'm saying is like, okay, so let's say because I think it's a little weird to say Hakari
By the way,
starts off in Jackpot, like he just domain expansion,
by
right?
the way, Hakari is
haven't really
cleaning
seen,
up in this poll. I'm sorry, like wow,
that's fine.
66% of you guys. That's
Because
crazy.
like obviously Jackpot Hakari like mops the floor with Choso. Like that's not really the argument, just to make sure people understand that. I'm not saying Jackpot Hakari is losing to Choso. It's more that like I'm questioning, does he get into Jackpot in the first place, right? So let's say I think this is being generous to Hakari, but let's say they Choso claps his hands, piercing blood, right? He starts up convergence. Hakari does this fucking domain shit. Or I don't know if I'm saying Hakari not only sure the barrier forms, the technique starts to activate, fine, that's cool, right? Is Hakari then just hitting Jackpot before this faster than sound attack hits him? I don't know. I think that's a little wild to say. And if we're saying that like Hakari starts off in Jackpot, is Choso not getting into flowing red scale stat because a motherfucker just opened a domain on him? Like, you know what I mean? It just starts getting into this like, if they're both starting at their peaks, then it kind of just changes everything.
I guess like starting at their bases and starting at their peaks would change the outcome a little bit. First of all, let me end this poll. At 78 votes, y'all have Hakari winning, which is very interesting.
I mean, I think that is the pretty standard opinion to have, don't you?
Like, I mean, that's just, like I said, right? Or like you said, that's assuming Jackpot going in, right? But if you want to assume they're both starting in base and Choso's like, and both of them are in character, I don't see Choso like holding off on piercing blood, and Hakari's not in Jackpot, so while he's like trying to spin, there's no reason why, excuse me, Hakari shouldn't, like, okay, Choso isn't blitzing Hakari with any other attack except piercing blood, right? Or maybe supernova. And the problem is Hakari surviving long enough in the domain to hit the Jackpot, because then whatever poison effect, for example, that he gets hit with will just be out like offset by the thing. But also, would Choso know to go for the head right away, or would he just like, you know, stab like hit him piercing blood? You know, Hakari tries to defend with his hands or his arms like Yuji did, and then great, he doesn't have his arms, but like they're already in the domain.
Let's just reference again, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does he do whenever we see him use piercing blood? They're always attempted headshots. Every time we see it, like versus Yuji, right? He puts his arms in front of his head, then moves out of the way. We see him use it on the Cursed Spirit when like Yuji brings him in. It's a headshot. We see versus Kenjaku. If Kenjaku wasn't able to move out of the way, it would have been a headshot. Like all of them are. There hasn't, as far as I can remember, there's not been a piercing blood that was not aimed at the head from Choso.
Interesting.
Like it's just as simple as that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're to summarize, you say like Hakari wins if they both start off in their peak.
If he gets in Jackpot, Hakari dominates. Like that's as simple as it gets.
Okay. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting win con for both parties, right? Like at their base, Choso wins. At their peak, Hakari wins. But you have like enough diversity in their like power levels right now in the series where you can say, oh yeah, no, like it's murky, right? I think that's the makings of a good matchup, right? Like for example, I think Hakari probably knows this better than anybody, that he has like the best shot of doing whatever he wants to do in Jackpot already, like starting off. Like if he goes, like Yuta and Maki are about to go into the fight with Sukuna, right? There's no way he's starting off like not in Jackpot, right? Or unless he thinks he can like hit Sukuna with Jackpot, disorient him a little bit, and then try to like hit it while Yuta and Maki try to hold him off a little bit. Probably Maki if it's like talking about domains. Like how would you put Jackpot Hakari at doing anything to even a weakened Megana?
Doing something being like, is he doing damage? Weaken is just such a vague thing. Like, yeah,
Okay.
it's a
There's
certain amount of weaken.
two
Sure.
weakened definitions. The first weakened is he's like laying on the damage at like his hands like physical stat boosts, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the basic like punching, kickings, etc. But like at jackpot level, right? Second
Uh-huh.
weakening is just um tanking the bulk of Sukuna's attacks. So Sukuna has to like offset more of his own cursed energy to try to hurt Yuta and Maki, because there's no way like Jackpot Hakari, Yuta in his 5 minute form, and like Maki with Soul Splitter. I think there's enough strain on Sukuna, especially like for his fuel tank or whatever, for it to not be like a wash as it would be like a one on a 1v1 with any of them.
Sure, sure. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think so. Like, not Sukuna now, right? We agree on that. Like, we're saying some like vague weakened form of him.
Yeah, like
Um,
let's say like I don't know 40% from like 100% Megana. Like let's say Gojo
I guess so. Then
Gojo
yeah,
does
like
yeah.
I could see like all of them doing something for that time limit. But if the overlap of Yuta and Hikari maybe not being at full power is a very big problem.
Mm.
Um, I will say, so people are bringing up in chat a lot. If Hakari can survive Kashimo, he can survive Choso, right? And that would make sense if I'm talking about Choso beating Hakari, like bludgeoning
But like the
him,
problem
right?
is he
But
started with Jackpot with Kashimo. Like he started in
well,
Jackpot.
they're talking about in the domain, right?
Ah,
Like
okay.
because but what I'm saying is this, right? Is there a time where Kashimo shoots lightning at his head in the domain?
Yeah, which is weird that he didn't,
No,
by the
then
way.
it's not comparable. Well, he
Yeah.
has to charge it.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like the static thing,
Right.
right?
But
Like
there's also
it's
another
like
layer
the
to it, and that's sorry to interrupt, but it's like Choso's blood is also poisonous, so he doesn't really need to do a whole lot after tagging Hakari.
mhm.
So yeah, just
Yeah,
yeah.
he would then just like lay on the damage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we also know that a certain amount of damage can make you like deactivate a domain in the first place,
Mm-hmm.
right? But yeah, I mean the difference is like, yeah, if you think like, okay, yeah, Choso punching Hikari probably wouldn't be enough to in the time it takes to get a domain off, like or the jackpot off, it wouldn't kill him, right? But like the same way I think Kashimo's lightning would have turned base Hikari's brain into smithereens,
Mm-hmm.
a piercing blood to the dome would have scrambled Hikari's brains.
Mm. Yeah. Stardust Phantom, thank you for the 5. If Hakari can survive Kashimo's onslaught in a jackpot roll,
Yeah,
Hakari, yeah, okay, we just yeah. Cool,
just do
cool.
that.
All right. Do you want to choose the next pairing?
Sure. So I guess so. Just two characters. Damn.
You
Let me
think are
think. Let me think. Let me
now,
think.
now or like not even relative, but like you think would be a good matchup. So like a one would be like, let's see, current Yuta versus
Maki or something.
or
What
like
do you think? What do you
Kenjaku,
think?
right? Is it like
Oh, okay,
right,
sure.
like yeah.
We
So
can
like,
talk about that. What do you think? How do you think that goes?
is that the one you want to go with?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so let's do Yuta and Kenjaku. Put up this poll. I want to hear your pitch.
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Argument for one or the other.
All right, poll is up.
Kenjaku technically has better feats because he's like fought a special grade and like Choso simultaneously. We know his domain is better. And Yuta doesn't necessarily hard counter. Well, he kind of does, but the he doesn't necessarily hard counter the curse spirits in the same way that Yuki did.
Hmm?
Domain to domain, Kenjaku, even if it's not like an immediate overwhelm, probably would win.
Hmm.
And their stats should probably be close enough physically to where like Yuta's not just dominating. The biggest problem for him is Rika because
Hmm.
Rika probably bodies any curse spirit he has in his arsenal. And that 2v1 would be a real problem. But it's not like he hasn't shown himself to be able to go up against like, you know, a special grade sorcerer and a special grade curse spirit at the same time. You know what I mean?
True.
So
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know.
For me, it's difficult because like if Kenjaku's look at this one's way trickier. Fuck, why is this so hard? Okay. Do you base your answer off the assumption that Yuta is stronger than Yuki?
Uh, yeah. I mean, I just assume that's the case.
Okay, okay. Cool. Just wanted to know like how to approach this, right?
Yeah.
If that is the case, and I'm saying I think I agree, right? Generally, um,
hmm
we're working off the other assumption that Kenjaku still has a better domain, and
Mm-hmm.
let's say they're both roughly equal in terms of versatility, right? Like I think the only other characters that like hit that versatility peak are Kenjaku, Yuta, and Sukuna, right? In Megami's body
Mm-hmm.
specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I think Kenjaku in the first like in those 5 minutes that he's like maxed out, because if Kenjaku's like domain expansion, like I don't know, Rika needs to like throw Yuta out of the range or or do something to get him out of there, because I don't see Yuta winning the domain clash straight up, right? Especially if he's like perplexed, bamboozled, spooked by the very concept, right? When he saw like Sukuna do it, and he was like, "What a barrierless domain? I've never heard of that." Right? On
Yeah.
poor guy. So like domain, if Kenjaku uses his domain, or worse, if Yuta thinks he can use his domain and like gets a little cocky with it, then
Mm-hmm.
it's pretty much goes to Kenjaku. But if he can stave off Kenjaku using his domain, and he manages to like beat him down like all the way through, and stay out of his effective range of the effective range of his of Kenjaku's domain, then I think Yuta should
Mm-hmm.
do it very high diff.
Got you. So you're more in favor of Yuta, like in like out of 10 times, you think Yuta wins like 6 or 7, like is more often than not, basically.
Like a soft six, yeah. You?
Got you. I think I lean just if I'm like strictly not being hopeful for Yuta, just based on what we've seen. I think Kenjaku probably wins like 6.
Interesting.
Let me argue against myself real quick and make
Okay.
a Yuta case, right?
Okay.
So based on Gojo versus Sukuna, we know that like barrier lists versus barrier domains, like the lack of a barrier does imply some sort of skill, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's better, right? It's not an inherent thing. Like Gojo and Sukuna's domains clash and they're equal within the context of like the actual clash
Right,
itself.
but that could just mean that they're
Um,
equally refined within the
yeah,
domain,
that
right? But no,
that's what I mean.
right, but like the refinements for Kenjaku would be superior in and out, right? Like up to like compared to like
Not necessarily.
you think
Like it
Yuta's
doesn't have to be
already
the case.
you think he's already got
No,
a
I'm just
handle
saying.
on barriers like that?
No, all I'm saying is it doesn't have to be. It's not evidence to that point. Is all I'm
Okay,
getting at,
okay,
right?
okay.
It's not so much that I'm saying like he doesn't have very great barrier showings, right?
Mm,
But like what I'm saying is Kenjaku's domain, it's kind of hard to say because like he is said to be like as good as with barriers as Tengen, right? So it's
right,
kind of hard
right.
to argue that point. But you don't necessarily have to even be equal to have the clash. I think even if Yuta is like unable to really fight to his best of his abilities himself, Rika could come in. And I do think that based on his usage of Rika in, I almost said Volume 0, in Sendai, it's possible that like if he opens a domain relatively early on in the fight before needing to recharge, he could open a domain twice
Right.
because he could use Rika to completely refill. And as far as we know, Kenjaku doesn't have that ability. And if that's the case, he could probably catch Kenjaku lacking.
But the problem is
And
Kenjaku's just been shown to have like really, really good stamina and really good efficiency. Like he was way less winded than Yuki was, even by like the midpoint of their fight, right? Even when his curse technique was burnt out after the domain, he still had the mini Uzumakis to like tide him over, and those blasts were powerful, right? I'm not like Yuta's obviously tanked, Ishigori's blasts. I don't think they're on the same level, duh.
Mhm.
But I do think catching him off guard with it would probably buy you a lot of time, especially if you want your curse technique to replenish, and you have
Mhm.
enough what do you call them, curse spirits in your arsenal that are also souped up to like stave him off.
Yeah. Hold on. M3D, thank you for the 5. Did y'all peep that after someone told dudes to list their top 10 strongest, Kenjaku versus Yuta is still kind of heavily debated? I thought it was settled. I mean, eh, it's kind of hard to settle it when they don't have like a direct
Yeah,
frame of reference.
I mean the problem is we don't know what Yuta's domain can do, and we don't know how he would be able to have like to deal with Kenjaku's additional bag of tricks, right? Because one of the things that I didn't mention, right, is that this Kenjaku also has Tengen now. So that's like
Hmm.
that adds another layer to like the cursed spirits at his disposal compared to when he was fighting Yuki. So he's arguably even stronger.
Sure. Yeah. And that's kind of why I lean towards Kenjaku right now. I can see Yuta being like getting stronger to that point, like in the middle of the fight or something.
Mm.
But like if they stayed stagnant, you know what I mean? Then probably Kenjaku. He just has like it's hard because I do think Yuta is more implied to be above Yuki, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he fought Yuki and Choso, and the difficulty to which he came out of that fight, even with Yuki sacrificing her life, was relatively low. Like, yeah, he took damage, he was injured, blah blah blah, had to use RCT, had to use domain, but it's like he came out of that fight. I would say, okay, I'll put it like this: he came out of that fight in a very similar condition to how Yuta came out of like the fight with Sendai. You know what I mean? Where it's like, phew, that was tough. But like,
Right.
except the caliber of opponent is different. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's kind of why I'm in Kenjaku's favor on this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, okay.
Um,
I'm still I'm willing to go down from Yuta to like a 50-50. I could see it going either way. Depends on, I guess, surprise attacks, reactions, and cursed weapons that Yuta has, because he also has like other ones in Rika that we don't know about.
hmm
So it depends on like what
Yeah,
he whips out as well. Because I think the one he
yeah.
used against in Sendai was like some version of brass knuckles or like a sleeve or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they took a fucking. Hold on, let me see, because it looked like she just folded that shit around his arm. Let me see. Let me see.
Um.
But yeah, yeah. I mean, he does. He probably has a myriad. I don't know if he has. He might. I don't know. Maybe he does have like special curse tools. But I would have imagined he used them against Ishiguro and Uro, but maybe it wasn't. It just wasn't necessary. Uh,
Yeah.
Rika violently slams Choso. No, I get that, right? But Kenjaku also like comfortably beat Yuki and
Chosen.
Choso. Like
Um.
it wasn't like Kenjaku's like, oh my god, if one thing had went wrong, I would have died.
No,
Like
no,
he kind of
he
came
had
out
it
of that and was
handled.
like, he
Yeah.
was like, phew, man, worked up a good sweat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm gonna end the poll, but it seems like you guys are firmly in Kenjaku's camp. At let's see, I'm gonna end the poll in like 5 seconds, just to make up for the stream delay. So still though, I don't see Yuta making up like that much of a comeback.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick.
right.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So it seems like poll results are in. Y'all have Kenjaku winning 7 out of 10 times that they fight, and I think that basically falls in line sort of to where BR and I ended up. It really does depend on how you see Rika's effectiveness and how Yuta deals with Kenjaku's superior barriers. Um, Miguel folds Maki, Yuta, and Hakari together. By the way, dude, Miguel is so hard to scale because like outside of Black Rope, Black Rope, um, he's his physical stats seem to be more in the durability department than they are in like the offense department. Like I think the way he was tanking Gojo's punches is arguably made more impressive now as of 231 because we know that Gojo enhances his punches with blue. So if he's able to eat that many Gojo punches or that many blue enhanced punches, I wonder how many like normal punches he'd be able to like tank, right? Um, So that's kind of where I stand on Miguel nowadays. Yes, I am being very careful. Y'all have got to chill out. I know what I said, all right, y'all. Okay, you're not gaslighting me. I know what I said. Whew. I'm so stressed out right now. Anyway, I want to give a quick shout out. To No, I didn't, guys. No, I didn't. Anyway, guys. Appreciate everybody. Oh my god, no. No, I didn't say it. No, I didn't. No, chat, yo, I will watch back this VOD. I did not say that. No, 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 no. Hold on. No. Did I say it? Okay, if I said it, somebody clip it and send it to me. Are you guys gaslighting me? No, I didn't. Oh no, 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 no! I couldn't have said it. There's no way. There's no way. No way. Oh, oh no. Oh shit, bro. Is PR still in the bathroom? Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait until he comes back. I'm gonna go back in this VOD, and I'm gonna see if I said it. Okay. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's over. It's over. What's stronger, Gojo punch or Yuki punch? Stronger, probably a Yuki punch. Although I'll say like you'll probably eat a lot more Gojo punches like in a row. I think his are probably faster because Yuki has to like cock back her attacks. We gaslit him. Okay. So you are gaslighting me. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, guys, I just wanted to say, as BR is about to come back at any time, whenever he feels ready to come back, whenever BR comes back, at any point, at any juncture that he wants to chime in here, he would like to say, thank you to
No,
everybody
I
that
wouldn't.
he. Thank you to everybody that came in here.
Um,
Appreciate you. Thank you to everybody who's a member. Y'all, we do the membership thing. For Jesus, I forgot the sales pitch. Oh my God, sorry. I'm just so chat gaslit me. Yeah, they'll catch you up. They'll catch you up. But like, I do want to say.
Blackwood is crazy.
Oh my God, stop.
But continue.
So like, for members, I think since the anime is doing the recap thing, we just finished up the review of season 2 yesterday. That's where the tree discussion took place. Clip coming soon.
Yep.
So for anybody who's still who's not a member and still wants to join, we will be doing those episodes also for Shibuya, and we will be reviewing that not only week to week but in totality every Thursday. So if you guys want to be there live for another tree falling moment, that's how to do it. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to
That's
If you want to see your thoughts on episodes in particular when they come out and see Kreams make a fool of himself twice a week instead of once, then yeah, that's the perfect place to go.
Yep. Memberships,
yeah.
honored ones. Woo.
Did you pick another versus battle in my absence?
No. Let me run that. Let me run that poll right now before I go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. Some relevant characters.
Okay.
What do you think about Maki and Kashimo?
Ooh, yeah, I was thinking about that one. No way, dude. That's
Run that up.
kind of creepy, actually, that you thought of that, because like I just thought of it too. Well,
I said this, and I have no idea which one I think.
yeah, Maki, Kashimo.
That's tough.
All right. Let's see. All right. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, memberships, blah blah blah. I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah. Okay. If I think this through, right? Don't take this as an argument for one or the other, but I'm just thinking it through, right? Maki scales to Toji. Both of them could soul the Zenin clan at any given point, right? Naobito was in the Zenin clan during Toji's aliveness. Naobito was the second fastest sorcerer alive, right? Okay, Maki and Toji scale above Naobito in speed, at least based off that. Cool. Naobito scales above the likes of Yuta, because Yuta was a sorcerer. That means he also has a scale above, I mean, at least fucking Base Hakari. Jackpot Hakari. I mean, I don't know if that statement would incorporate like small bursts of power like Jackpot or like very specific instances of that. But I'll put it like this: Maki's speed scaling is definitely a lot more definitive than Kashimo's. Kashimo's definitely is like, oh my god, he blitzed Panda, and he's like relative to Jackpot Hakari. Obviously, like his best thing is going to be the static charge up lightning bolt. Yeah. Let's see. BR using my arguments. Tessar, I'll have you know I've been putting this in videos since before you even since before you could scale, buddy. Nah, but me personally, I believe in Maki. I bet you do, Shammy. Yeah, I think Maki is stronger at least than like no technique Kashimo. It's hard to say what that one-off usage would do, right? But yeah, I think Maki just probably has better skill. And Kashimo's durability, no matter how high you think it is, doesn't really matter with Soul Splitter. He doesn't have RCT, so even if RCT would work on Soul Splitter, it doesn't heal. Maki's going to be specifically hard to fight because of like the fact that you can't censor cursed energy. I think all of the advantages lie in Maki's favor. He was one hand blocking her. Yeah, saying Maki was relative to Sukuna is wild because like that's not the case, and Sukuna is also like extremely weakened. But yeah, Um, Kashimo will use this technique against Maki's, even if he dies, so it's irrelevant. I mean, sure, but we have conversations about like things that don't happen in reality all the time. Like for example, like Hakari starting off in Jackpot is like something he doesn't do that. That's not how it works, but it's just floating the idea, right? Kashimo's cooking. All right, give me a Kashimo argument. Give me a Kashimo argument. I'd like Kashimo to win. Like I'd like to be able to argue for him, but the scaling just doesn't really exist for him all that much. I mean, okay, let me do my best, right? Let's say gun to my head, argue for Kashimo. Cool. Kashimo relative to Jackpot Hakari, um, maybe higher because Hakari is always like constantly fresh, even though Kashimo's damage like accumulates. Or not Kashimo. Yeah, Kashimo's damage accumulates. Like he's continuously taking it. So maybe you could argue he's like a slight bit higher. Let's see. Jackpot Hakari is, I guess, stronger than Yuta. If you think that statement's very valid, yeah, let's say it is for the sake of this argument. Yuta is second only to Gojo. Maki is indeed a character who is a sorcerer. So Yuta over pre-double awakened Maki. Kashimo over that. And Maki's awakening doesn't definitively put her above Yuta. I don't know. I guess that's the best I got. Maki doesn't have anything to deal with the lightning. I mean, I don't know. Her senses might allow her to just to see that shit before it, like see the static building up. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't have to be faster than the lightning itself. But she could sure as hell precog it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I will say if Kashimo lands the lightning on Maki, which I don't necessarily think is the most likely thing to happen, but if he does, Kashimo wins. Because if he blows like out half her rib cage or something, she's kind of cooked. But yeah, um, she can just dodge it. Why am I getting Raid Shadow Legends ads in 2023? I don't know, brother. Kashimo broke a constantly growing reinforced Akari's neck and blasted him with lightning. Maki's not living those. I think I just disagree.
How are we doing, gang? How's Ronin been
what?
treating you?
Why'd you say gang like that? You feel like you're talking to a certain demographic?
I said it very normally, very neutrally.
Oh, okay, sure.
Damn, bro.
Yeah.
I could have sworn when I last left this poll that Kashimo was sweeping. It looks like the tables have turned. What kind of talk no jutsu did you pull?
Oh, let me ask you this: were you listening? Were you listening to stream?
I was listening for some of it. I stopped like a minute and a half ago when he started talking about like Kashimo being hard to scale speed wise, or because Sukuna.
Okay, who do you think wins?
Probably Maki. We're assuming Kashimo doesn't use his like secret curse technique, right?
No technique.
Yeah, then probably Maki.
Yeah, saying okay. So someone in chat said his lightning can't be dodged, and that's just like untrue.
It's
in like its second usage, we see it avoided by Hakari, kinda like. You know what I mean? We see it reacted to. I'll put it like that.
It's not even like just that, but also like on some speed shit. He's not as fast as like a lightning user normally is because Jackpot Hakari was able to like run laps with him, right? Like he was just faster than Kashimo. That being said, though, the charge up time does not. It's to Kashimo's detriment, right? Maki hits Kashimo with the Soul Splitter on the arm, like the fight's half over.
Yeah. The lightning still hit Hakari though. What I'm saying that to say is that like the lightning is not it's very fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like it is not
also wait, hold on.
Like it doesn't have domain like properties, right, is basically what I'm getting at.
How much damage do you see it doing to Maki at all, by the way? Because like
it's gonna blow her the fuck up. Like
really?
I don't doubt that. It's gonna obliterate her, but I just don't think it's likely to hit. And I also think if Maki I think Maki can move out of the path of the lightning bolt.
Yeah.
Shit like
also,
that.
also, I feel like she would sense it better than like.
That's what I argued. Yeah.
Okay. So like out of 10, how we doing this? Also, I see.
I don't know, Maki like 7.
Okay. I see somebody let Busham 0 in here. I don't know.
I mean, yeah. You see somebody let him in here. He's the type of person that has to be let into places. He can't just go to places when he wants to. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Are we?
Ushama, you hear that? You have to be let into places. I personally That sounds a little racially charged to me, but like I don't know.
Wait,
I don't know. That's just me. That's just me.
hold on. Let me look up flight prices for something unrelated. Super like duper like unrelated to everything that just happened in the last couple seconds. Oh
Also,
yeah.
y'all are assuming Kashimo won't
Um
block Maki's vision. Unless he can block all the ambient air, then that shit's not
yeah.
happening.
Also I looked up the flight prices. Yeah, Bushamo, I'm very sorry. Won't happen again. My bad.
Hmm.
Sorry, sir.
Mhm.
I'm gonna end the
Yeah.
poll. Yeah, 108 votes. Yeah, yeah. It seems like Maki's cleaning. You'd love to see it.
It's not that big of a disparity though, and I think like I don't think Maki's like bodying Kashimo. I'm gonna be real with you, but I do think Kashimo just doesn't have the feats he does. It's kind of hard to because Kashima's just a physical fighter, right? And you're just gonna be in a little bit of a hot shit when you're a primarily physical fighter versus like a heavenly restriction user. It's just not really a good time.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah,
let's see. You could say like he has a taser effect. I guess that could work on Maki, but
but
like New Way's lightning
yeah,
didn't. So
but also it would be greatly reduced because she has additional resistance to cursed energy, right? I don't know, like how much stock do you put into the heavenly restriction resistance? Because I put
0.
really.
It doesn't like so far it hasn't meant anything.
I mean, that's how she survived Jogo's fire, no?
And she survived that because she's like physically tough. Um, but if that's what you mean, like if you mean their enhance their ability, then
Yeah.
that's different. But I mean like their specific resistance to like curse, like so like in Volume 0 where Maki's like I don't have any resistance to curses, right? Like
Mm,
that thing where she gets like sick. That is to me what they're talking about, right? And in that instance, that doesn't really matter with like high level jujutsu. I don't even really factor that in. It's not that it's not there, but it's just like it doesn't really show up. I think if we're talking durability, yeah, it definitely helps. But I don't think straight up raw durability is gonna help you much with like getting tasered.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad somebody caught the sorry sir joke. I'm really happy about that. Thank you, Coco's Crib. Um, did you read the super chats?
Nope.
Sleeping
Let me
Danger,
see.
yeah.
M3 for the two.
Wait, I think
I
there's
say
one.
Maki dices Kashimo before he gets a charge. Very possible.
Yeah.
Um,
Sleeping Nature, thank you for the 14. Kashimo's lightning is sure hit. She can't dodge. Did we respond to that one?
no. Well, yeah,
And
kind of.
and
Like I
around
know
about
this.
yeah.
I know the narrator statement. Blah 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 blah. Right. What I'm getting at is like Hakari. Like we can see right. Aimed at his head. It does not hit his head. Right. Like what are we doing? If it can be like it's not a domain in the sense that it does not spawn on your body.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's all I'm saying. Like this results in lightning in the air that can't miss without the need to cast a domain. Like it's I think there is a distinction that needs to be made between lightning not being able to miss because of how fast it is and lightning not being able to miss because of like some intrinsic property of it. Like I'll put it like this, right? If you give okay, and this is obviously an exaggerated example, right? But just bear with me, chat, right? Kashimo builds up a charge on Goku, right? Then he sends the lightning at him. If Goku doesn't want that shit to hit him, it's not hitting him,
Right.
right? Because it's not like a domain. At least that's my interpretation of it. However, in a domain expansion, yeah, all the attacks will hit him because they don't exist until they land, right? I'm saying Kashimo's properties, like what I'm getting at, right? How I interpret the statement is it effectively can't miss against characters that he fights because most of the verse is not like faster than lightning timers.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, I think that one's a pretty good one to end on, unless you had some like controversial ones or one that you just like needed to get off your chest.
Nah.
Um,
Nope. 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 So you're really going against the narrator? I think the narrator can have context added to their statements all the time. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, like the narrator, and this is just a general sentiment I have. I know a lot of people that like will disagree. Not only can like the narrator be contradicted by things, not necessarily in this case, but it also doesn't have to be the most literal interpretation of their words. It just doesn't have to be that way.
gotcha. Okay.
But yeah.
Overall, I think the entire core cast has made significant strides, in their
Mm-hmm.
power, and in their utility, experience, blah blah blah. The real big question, and the one we're gonna end on for this episode, is how does this like factor into Gojo versus Sukuna, right?
Mm,
In the case of most of this really only applies if Sukuna wins, duh. But like in the case of
hmm
Sukuna winning, what are the pairings looking like? What awakenings like are left on the table? Who's going to awaken and like to what end, right?
Hmm.
And let me ask you a bit of an
Um.
existential question that I just thought of, all right?
Okay.
This is the only time I've heard this question asked.
Oh,
So
okay.
chat, this is an Honored Ones exclusive. If you hear this anywhere else, tell us and we will we'll
So, Chad,
send them a
this
cease
has
and
been said
desist.
in plenty of other places. All right.
No, it hasn't.
Um,
Cease and
it's been
desist.
said
Tell us. All right,
repeatedly.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
What up?
Any awakening by any character, especially like the powerful ones, to deal with Sukuna that can affect Sukuna to any lethal degree, is then proportionally scaled to affect Kenjaku much more directly. So, what do I mean by this? If Yuta develops the ability to like, you know, uh, uh, awaken Inumaki's curse technique with copy, and he's like die, right, and he's just able to, it's not gonna kill Sukuna outright, but it would like, drain him of like 20% of his power and like damage his soul like irreversibly, like really like aggressive type shit. It would probably like just eat away like Kenjaku's entire being, right? Like we're talking like 60% damage, right? I'm throwing out random numbers here, but just so you can get the visual of what I'm trying to get across, right? What is an
Okay.
awakening that can damage Sukuna that wouldn't absolutely obliterate Kenjaku?
What is what? What is the percentage of Sukuna that
No, no,
wouldn't
no.
obliterate
What
Kenjaku?
what is an awakening by a character that if they had it to damage Sukuna in a fight against Sukuna would not be able to do even more harm to Kenjaku?
That's
Like,
such a convoluted fucking
oh
question,
my
man. I
god,
don't
bro.
know. You answer it. You
Fine,
tell
fine,
me.
fine, fine. I'll give you a great answer. All right, you fucking dork. Okay.
What is an ability that could work on Sukuna, however, to the power of two, not work on Kenjaku and
Bro,
twice as much? It's
yeah,
like
you know what, bro?
Jesus.
This
You
is.
you you sound like you want to
Are,
be stuffed in a
are
locker.
we are
God
we are we
damn,
not
bro.
reading the same series? Are we not reading the same Doppler effect series?
Jesus Christ, man. Just fucking
Like,
just say your question.
to fucking multiply to the third power? Like are we not talking about like a canonical effect of the fucking Jujutsu Kaisen sorcery fight series? Huh? Yeah.
Listen, bro. You're not gay for real. You don't have the credentials. You don't get to do that. Say that
I
shit normal.
I can do anything. I am a fucking hero. Anyway,
Okay.
um, so
Here,
like,
let me show what you think you can do with your free speech. I got something for chat.
okay, never mind, chat. I'm sorry for everything I've said. Br, I'm gonna let the mic go to you. This was nice, chat. This was a great episode.
No, go ahead, go ahead. Give your awakening, bro. Give your awakening.
No, 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 it's fine. It wasn't
I'm
even.
not,
I wasn't even that
no, I'm
excited about it.
telling you to give your awakening.
Uh,
Stop waffling and say it.
uh, can I see the clip that you're? Let me scale something real quick.
It's gonna be the one where you say you're just like Frieza.
Anyway, guys, so this is what I mean by what I said, right? Um, if somebody like Yuji is able to do something like Soul Flash or like some kind of crazy attack like that,
Jesus
and
Christ.
and like blow Sukuna's arm off at like the soul level, right? I got a feeling Sukuna might be able to like bounce back a little bit from it, but Kenjaku, who's canonically not like a soul heavy user, would probably be like, "Oh, eeks, egad, my arm, it's gone. Whatever shall I do?"
That was okay, bro. I mean, the simple answer is just have Kenjaku like die first or something, and then
Oh,
have people evolve more.
I didn't consider that. I'll be honest with you. At this point, the story seems like it's structured so that Kenjaku dies after Sukuna. Um,
Please God, don't let that happen, bro.
I
I can't.
hold on.
I don't think I can live in a world where JJK, like the only antagonist left, is fucking Kenjaku, dude.
Wait. Yeah, are you seriously telling me you haven't been like getting that vibe this whole fight?
No, because Sukuna's not losing here.
Right. But like,
And yeah, to
like,
me, Sukuna gives very much final villain vibes. Like I trust Gege, right? I trust he'll give the villain that actually has connections to the main cast the final, like the most importance, and I trust and hope that he knows that Sukuna is the better character of the two. You know what I mean?
Okay, so in a situation where Gojo wins or it's a dead draw, right? Like that.
Gojo's not winning. It's not. It's
Right.
not. That's not
Yeah.
an entertainable
Yeah.
situation.
Of course he's not fucking win. Like let's, bro. Let's call a spade
What am
here,
I?
right?
Okay, it's like saying. Well, no, that's crazy. I'm not gonna disrespect Gojo like that. What I was gonna say is it's like saying Kenjaku beat Gojo. The disparity is not that much, but what I'm saying is it's not about power. It's about narrative, right?
No, no,
The
no,
narrative
no.
doesn't
Like
really
no, no. I
work if
agree.
Gojo wins.
No, I agree with you,
Mhm.
right? I'm trying to say like. Then fine. In the case Gege wants to do like a mutually assured destruction thing where Gojo and Sukuna take each other out, that's more reasonably on the table than Gojo winning, right? Um,
Sure.
if that's the case, that would only leave Kenjaku left, and it's like, I don't know. Seems like bro's gonna have a little bit lot on his plate. Seems like he needs
Yeah.
Sukuna
I mean,
like very
I don't
much.
know, bro. I mean, I guess like after then Yuta just Yuta's the only one that really needs to have an awakening to beat Kenjaku though. Like I'm
Yeah.
confident that if Yuta himself really locked in, he'd beat Kenjaku on his own. Like now, I know that sounds contrary to what I said. Current Yuta is not strong enough, I don't think. However, Yuta with an awakening is. That's what I need to see. Because like then you throw Maki or like Kashimo, like what are we doing? Like we've had this discussion before, in which, by the way, you disagreed with me that like Maki, Hakari, Yuta, and Kashimo would beat Kenjaku, and I firmly think that they would. Like I think that they're putting that motherfucker in a body bag, right? But that's why I kind of want Sukuna to be the last guy because like just imagine, right? You're
Mm.
building up this entire series, and it's just like the main characters get to fight not the strongest guy in the entire verse. They get to fight to like the
The
third or
third.
fourth
Yeah.
strongest. Like, what are we doing, bro?
I mean, you can
What are we
argue.
honestly doing?
You can argue that like Kenjaku's machinations have had like a disproportionately adverse effect to their lives, right? Like the Culling Games is Kenjaku's fault. Like the troops being sent in from other countries is Kenjaku's fault.
The
Um,
troops didn't
hold
net
on,
them
wait,
shit, bro.
Actually, wait, I want to add on, right? Sumiki is Kenjaku and Sukuna's fault, right? That's a 2-for-1 right there, right? But
Sure.
like,
But we've
oh,
had this discussion. Which one of the characters, right? You could say Choso. You could
mm,
say Miwa, right? Which one of these characters, like Choso and Miwa, right? Cool characters, Miwa especially. But I mean, Yuji doesn't have a vendetta against Kenjaku. Neither does Megami, right?
mm.
Gojo kinda,
I mean,
right? A
he has a
little bit.
yeah. I mean, I look, I don't disagree with you. The Culling Games is only really stopped if Kenjaku like through Kenjaku's specific death or whatever, or however you want to phrase that. Sukuna seems like he's playing a final boss. He is a final boss difficulty with like underboss rewards, if that makes sense, right? Like defeating him is nigh on impossible. It's so hard. It's arguably the biggest wall, the biggest challenge that they have to face. But
Mm-hmm.
even if they do, it doesn't necessarily end the game. If you get what I mean. So it seems
Sure.
like yeah, that's kind of where I'm at
I
with
mean,
Kenjaku. Like the
I just
opposite.
think, sure, I guess so. I don't know, bro. Maybe. I feel like, maybe he's got to spawn in the super curse or something.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because I don't know. Gibby the Great, thank you for the 2. Been a fan for a while, just wanted to share love. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank
Thanks
you.
for being a member, bro.
Um,
Appreciate you.
Sukuna couldn't care less about Yuji though. Well, apparently Kenjaku couldn't either. Caring about Yuji isn't really the matter at hand. It's Yuji caring about Sukuna.
Mm.
They got beef as far as Yuji's concerned.
True. Yuji versus Kenjaku grudge should and I imagine will be built up. There is so much there for Yuji to get emotional about. He's literally his father. Actually, he's literally
Mother.
his mother. Yeah. But also I think
And killing Kenjaku doesn't end the games. That's fair.
yeah. Another thing about that. Yuji already has this like whole back and forth with Sukuna and like this very specific beef with him that I feel is so good on its own that he doesn't need to know, let alone have any beef with Kenjaku, right? Like I feel like Kenjaku is more of a JJK0 cast kind of problem. Like I could definitely see them being more like against Sukuna than the other way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let me see.
It's
Yuta, maybe
no.
Yuta and Maki. Let me see
Yeah,
Yuta and Maki handle that shit.
yeah, bro. Because like no, I'm actually tripling down on this, right? the JJK Zero Squad, or I guess the second years, right? They have more beef with Kenjaku than Sukuna, if for no other reason than Inumaki's arm. The entire
Huh.
incident in Shibuya, like all encompassing. The fact that Panda was like this close to dying had he like moved. Um, like oh, and everything with like Ghetto and blah blah blah, right? Like it seems like they might divvy it up that way. I s-
Yeah, I mean, okay. So people are talking about like Kenjaku's really important, and like nobody's disagreeing with
Mhm.
that. For Naruto fans, let me give you a Naruto sort of like comparison, right? Sorry, Kreams, let's go right over your head,
Uh-huh.
right? Kaguya is more foundational to the world of Naruto. Like Kaguya and Black Zetsu have the most influence on the entire verse of Naruto up to that point, right? However, the final fight in the series is not Naruto versus Kaguya, it's Naruto versus Sasuke. You want to know why? It's because Naruto and Sasuke have more like thematic, narrative, and personal beef with each other. That fight should be the last because it is most important to the core ideas and themes of the series. And to me, Kenjaku can be a more important figure in Jujutsu history with him not being the most important person from a narrative or character level, right? It's like, I don't know, man. It's just, it's who does this motherfucker hate the most? And it's like,
Yeah.
that's kind of how it is.
I mean, there's a lot of hate going around, like in all directions, though. You know.
Hmm.
So,
Like, there's enough people that hate Kenjaku to go scrap with him, right? It doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be Yuji, and it doesn't have to be the final fight to me, right?
okay.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
I see what you mean. Okay, cool. Um,
yeah.
Overall, great episode. Fun episode to do in a break week. Appreciate all of you guys. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap?
Uh, uh, I'll plug myself.
Uh,
Versus battle guys coming tomorrow. If you're interested in JJK power scaling, me and No Operator really put a fun video together. But
damn,
yeah,
bro.
that's about it. Appreciate you guys joining.
Mm.
We'll see you guys next week for all the members. Same thing
Um,
applies to you, actually. Uh,
yeah. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to all our members. If you want to become a member, the link's in chat. And if we also have like these cool little emojis. If you want to use those for memberships. Man,
sure, sure.
I gotta write like a script or something. This is brutal. And since BR, did his self promo, I'm gonna do mine. Check me out on TikTok at Creamsy.
Don't,
I've
don't,
probably already been on some of your For You pages, so
don't,
just hop on
don't
the
do that.
bandwagon.
Chat, don't.
Appreciate
You're
you
gonna hate it.
guys. And don't watch his thing with Noab. This can go both ways, chum. Um,
I'm not really worried about your endorsements or lack thereof. Don't you worry.
how? Okay,
Um,
guys, I
but
endorse everything. I thought about it. Chat. We'll see you guys next week. Appreciate you.
yeah,
Appreciate you.
that probably better for you, Chad. I got a link for you guys as you head out. See you guys later. Peace,
Bye.
peace, peace. Have a good rest of your day.